Hello, hello. The Queen is back. Live number 3 for the evening. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans and warm greetings from the High 10. This is a 2-part live pertaining to Jussie Smollett. He's currently on trial for faking an alleged attack against himself, and also information coming out of California pertaining to Scott Peterson. Once again, this is a 2-part live. I will drop the link when I am done with the said information, and you can feel free to hit the link to give your opinion pertaining to the information in the said trial out of Chicago, Illinois, if you believe Mr. Smollett is guilty, and also the information coming out of California pertaining to Scott Peterson being moved to a county jail. There is said information. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. There is said information coming out of California pertaining to him getting a court date. I will bring you that said information. I will play you audio that you can verify for your information desk. Hello, Soul Survivor. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and get started because this will probably be a lengthy live. Hopefully, it won't run as long as the last live, but I will be bringing you back-to-back lives because there's updates that just keep popping up pertaining to these stories that I bring to you. So tomorrow will be another busy day for the Queen. I will be doing back-to-back lives tomorrow. Tomorrow's live will be pertaining to Summer Wells. The search will be back on tomorrow for the search for Summer Wells. So that will be one live. I will be bringing you another live pertaining to a heinous case out of Memphis, Tennessee, where a young man went to a woman's apartment for a date and things went terribly awry in that said apartment. That will be live number 2. And I'm trying to think. 9 times out of 10, I'll bring you another live pertaining to Jussie Smollett. And whatever else I can find in the information desk. Thank you all so much for joining me. Got 14 viewing. I'm going to give you a background pertaining to the death penalty so you'll understand the information I'm bringing to you. I will also play you audio to bring you how this case pertaining to Scott Peterson came to fruition for it to be overturned and what his lawyers are trying to do to get him off. And we will go from there. Thank you all so much for joining me. NPR is the source. This is pertaining to Scott Peterson. Governor Gavin Newsom suspends death penalty in California. This article is from March 12, 2019. So for those of you who do not know, the death penalty is off the books in the state of California. This was updated March 13th at 3:29 p.m. 2.5 years ago. Governor Gavin Newsom signed a sweeping order on Wednesday putting an executive moratorium on California's troubled death penalty, thus ordering a reprieve for the 737 people on death row. Now, remember, this is a 2.5-year article. The action suspends any further executions in California as long as Newsom is governor, but only California voters can repeal the death penalty, something they rejected narrowly 3 years ago. Newsom also ordered the immediate closure of the state's execution chamber at San Quentin State Prison. The order does not otherwise change any existing convictions or sentences and will not lead to any death row inmates being released. Our death penalty system has been, by any measure, a failure, Newsom said in a written statement. It has provided no public safety benefit or value as a deterrent. It has wasted billions of taxpayer dollars. But most of all, the death penalty is absolute, irreversible, and irreparable in the event of a human error. That is very true. And if you don't know what that means in case someone made a mistake, identified someone as a killer, then we find out years later he or she was not the killer through DNA, which a lot of people have been exonerated through DNA testing. Then once that person is put to death and you later find out he or she was not the killer, you have now murdered someone. Okay. The executive order argued that capital punishment is inherently unfair and is applied more often to people of color and those with mental disabilities, according to an administration source. In public remarks made shortly after he signed the order at the state capitol, Newsom struck a personal tone. We are considering executing more people than any other state in modern history to line up human beings every day for executions for 2+ years. Premeditated, state-sponsored executions. I cannot sign off on executing hundreds and hundreds of human beings, knowing among them are people who are innocent. Flanked by Democratic lawmakers and other elected officials, Newsom spoke about her family friend, Pete Pianesi, who was convicted of a murder and narrowly escaped the death penalty after just one juror opposed it. He was eventually pardoned after a mob-hit man flipped and admitted that 2 other men had carried out the killings. The governor also cited other personal experiences, seeing a man he went to high school with during a tour of death row, knowing a former foster brother spent time in San Quentin for dealing crack cocaine. He said those experiences and conversations with victims in recent days, along with the knowledge the state would be resuming execution soon, led to his decision. This has been a 40-year journey for me, he said, noting that he spoke with family members of victims on both sides of the issue. One told him that he had a responsibility to eradicate evil, while another said he had no right to take another life in the name of her daughter. To the victims, all I can say is, that's a very interesting statement. We owe you and we need to do more and do better, more broadly for victims in this state, but we cannot advance the death penalty in an effort to try to soften the blow of what happened, Newsom said. The order was met with scorn from supporters of the death penalty who called the blanket reprise an abuse of power. They also questioned whether Newsom had the authority to withdraw the lethal injection protocol. The legal regulatory framework setting out how to put a prisoner to death in California. But Democrats roundly praised the move, and before Newsom even signed the order, a group of 24 lawmakers announced legislation to put the abolishment of the death penalty before voters in 2020. 853,000 upgrade of the execution chamber in San Quentin was completed in 2010, but it has never been used. The last execution in California occurred January 17, 2006, when Clarence Ray Allen, 76, was put to death. No executions have been carried out since. Well, that's a very long time. A court-ordered moratorium on the executions has been in place since February 2006, when a federal judge declared that California's lethal injection protocol was unconstitutional. A new execution protocol is under review, but Newsom's order will withdraw it. How do voters feel about the death penalty? Public opinion in California on capital punishment has shifted dramatically in the past few decades, with increasing numbers of people preferring the option of life without the possibility of parole to the death penalty in most cases. However, in 2012 and again in 2016, California voters rejected ballot measures aimed at abolishing the death penalty in 2016 as they narrowly rejected Proposition 62. Voters narrowly passed a competing measure, Proposition 66, to expedite executions by shortening the appeals process. The California Supreme Court rejected part of that measure while keeping most of it intact. Newsom's action on the death penalty will no doubt place him in the national spotlight. What might have seemed avant-garde decades ago isn't anymore. The governors of Colorado and Oregon have issued moratoriums on executions in recent years. 20 states and the District of Columbia have abolished the death penalty, according to the Death Penalty Information Center. In response to criticism of his move, Newsom said, "The people of California have entrusted me with the constitutional right to do what I am doing. I have been crystal clear about my opposition to the death penalty. I don't think it comes as a surprise. The Constitution and the laws of this state afford me the right to do this. The law does not change. It will only change with voters or the Supreme Court." Changing politics behind the death penalty. Newsom's action is the latest indication of how California politics have changed around capital punishment. In 1986, voters essentially recalled California Chief Justice Rose Byrd and 2 associate Supreme Court justices appointed by former Governor Jerry Brown over their opposition to the death penalty. They were replaced by Brown's successor, Republican tough on crime Governor George, I don't know how this is pronounced, but Duca Majian, a former attorney general who oversaw a vast expansion of California's prison system before he left the governor's office in 1991. In 1990, Dianne Feinstein ran for governor as pro-death penalty Democrat. Views that were booed at the state Democratic convention that year. She won her party's nomination nonetheless, losing to Republican Pete Wilson in the general election later that year. In 1998, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Gray Davis also ran as a supporter of capital punishment, easily crushing Republican Attorney General Dan Lundgren in the general election. But as the state's demographics have changed, so too have California's politics. In 2006, Jerry Brown was elected Attorney General, promising to uphold the state's death penalty, even though he personally opposed it. 4 years later, San Francisco District Attorney, Kamala Harris, which is now our Vice President, an ardent opponent of capital punishment, was narrowly elected as the state Attorney General. Today, it's hard to find a mainstream Democrat in California who supports the death penalty. As for Newsom, highlighting the issue could elevate his national profile, but could also ignite a firestorm by protests by crime victim advocates, President Trump, and others. Now, remember, this is a 2-year-old article. Okay. Excuse me. That seems to be at risk. He is willing to be a risk. He is willing, if not happy, to take. This is an older article from NPR.org from 2 years ago, 2019, updated March 12th. I bring you this information because Scott Peterson was on death row. He's now been moved to a county jail. I'm going to bring you this information pertaining to Scott Peterson and what is going on with him. Thank you so much for joining me. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. A lot of lives. This information I'm going to play for you was uploaded 2 months ago, and this is to explain how this all came to fruition with Scott Peterson and his conviction and what's going on with the conviction. I will also read you the latest information uploaded so you can understand the process and what's really going on and how we came to be where we are today. This is by Channel News 4, KRON.
A woman who served on the Scott Peterson jury is demanding immunity to protect herself against self-incrimination. Rochelle Neese was summoned to testify for Peterson's upcoming evidentiary hearing, and this hearing will determine whether Peterson gets a whole new murder trial. Peterson has spent 16 years on death row for the murder of his pregnant wife, Lacey. Court documents recently filed here at the San Mateo County Courthouse show Neese will plead the fifth if she is not granted immunity. Neese hired a new defense attorney, Jeffrey Carr.
I represent Rochelle Neese in a habeas petition involving Mr. Peterson's murder conviction.
If his name sounds familiar, it's because he was the lead defense attorney for another high-profile murder case that happened at this same courthouse in Redwood City. Jeffrey Carr successfully defended Tiffany Lee, also known as the Hillsborough heiress. Carr gained notoriety when a jury found Tiffany not guilty of murdering her ex-boyfriend, Keith Green. The verdict stunned many trial observers because of a mountain of evidence piled against her. Whether or not you believe Scott Peterson is a cold-blooded killer, the issue at hand is whether he received a fair trial. Rochelle Neese is accused of lying during jury selection to cover up her past experience as a domestic abuse victim. Like Lacey, Neese was pregnant when she was victimized, but during jury selection, she said she had never been the victim of a crime. If Judge Christine Mazzullo rules that juror misconduct did occur, Peterson's conviction will be overturned. I'm Amy Larson, reporting for Cron 4 News in Redwood City.
Okay, everybody, that's that information coming out of California that was uploaded 2 months ago. Cron News 4. A woman who was the jury panel lied about something that happened to her. Obviously, they got this said information. It comes out years later. So this is how we came to be where we are today. Mercy. What a mess. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to read you the latest so you can understand what exactly is going on with Scott Peterson and this conviction overturned. Well, it's not him getting out. Let me make that clear because I know some of you are getting nervous in the in the chat thinking he's going somewhere. He's trying, but he's not. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Got to get something down. He ain't going nowhere. Because I'm sure the family will not allow that. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming back in. I want to put this information in the chat for somebody. Hold on one second. Hope you all are well. Took me a little while to get on, get myself motivated here. Wait 1 second. Hold on. Okay. Make sure I'm putting everything in here. Ooh, these stories, I tell you, it's a lot to bring. I have a lot of lives to bring tomorrow, so hopefully you all will be around when I go live. It's just a lot going on in the news pertaining to Summer Wells and Jussie Smollett, and oh Lord, it's just every day it's like people don't take a break with crime, it seems. It'd be nice to not have to always talk about these horrible situations. Okay. This is pertaining to what's going on now. This was uploaded CBS San Francisco 7 hours ago. Scott Peterson moved from death row to San Mateo County Jail. One second. Hello, everybody. Hi, who done it? How you doing? Turn me a little air on because I'm getting a little warm in here. Okay. Scott Peterson, whose death sentence for murder of his wife, Lacey, and the couple's unborn child has been overturned. It has been transferred from San Quentin's death row to San Mateo County Jail to await a hearing next week on his resentencing. So listen carefully. It is for a resentencing. As I just brought you information about the death row being put on hold, only the voters can bring it back into fruition. Naturally, his lawyer fought due to this mess with this woman, bringing forth information that was allegedly fraudulent about being assaulted, blah, blah, blah. Now, we are where we are today. While his death sentence was overturned on appeal, the high court left in place his murder conviction, and now he faces life in prison without the possibility of parole. A hearing on that matter is set for December 8th. Peterson, now 49, has spent more than 17 years on death row for the crime that captured the nation's attention. He was convicted in the San Mateo court after his trial was moved from Stanislaus County due to the massive pretrial publicity that followed Lacey's Christmas Eve 2002 disappearance and the massive search that followed. Investigators say Peterson, who was having an affair at the time, took the bodies from their Modesto home and dumped them from his fishing boat into the San Francisco Bay, where they surfaced months later. The state high court last year said that there was considerable circumstantial evidence incriminating Peterson in the slayings. Judge Ann Christine Masulo signed an order November 23rd to have Peterson transferred as soon as possible after Peterson's attorney, Pat Harris, filed papers saying he'd been having trouble communicating with his client at the prison. Peterson continues to fight to have his conviction overturned based on allegations that a juror on his case was untruthful when she filled out a juror questionnaire. A hearing on the juror misconduct claim is scheduled in late February. So mind you, we have December 8th coming up for the resentencing of his crime. And then February will be to see if indeed the woman committed perjury. This is very interesting. Okay, late February for the woman, for the juror misconduct, and December 8th is for the resentencing of life without the possibility of parole for the said crime of killing his wife and unborn child. Masulo will have 90 days after the matter is submitted to decide whether Peterson gets a new trial, but first Peterson must be resentenced, which that will come December 8th. Family and friends of Laci were expected to give victim impact statements at the hearing and face him in person for the first time since he was sentenced to death. The judges issued an order allotting 16 seats in the courtroom for friends and family of Laci and 16 for Peterson's friends and family. That is the sad information. CBS San Francisco. Yes, I don't know who ratted her out. I don't know how it came about. They're saying she lied about, I just played the audio. I believe it's some abuse allegations. She was pregnant at the time, and I believe the question was asked to her about ever being abused or something, and I think she lied and said that she had not been. How that information got out, I can't remember because it's been a while ago since I'd heard this story. But Scott Peterson is 49, was on death row. His attorney fought for the resentencing and this issue of the juror misconduct. I just played you audio of her wanting to, I believe, plead the fifth. If need be, I will play it again if you all want to hear it again so you can understand what's going on, those coming in late. It's a very interesting story. But know that the conviction is standing because many of you are getting nervous because you're hearing he's been moved to a county jail. The conviction stands for murder. He's still trying to fight it, but it still stands in the court of law. What is happening is he's getting a resentencing on the 8th of December pertaining to life without the possibility of parole versus death. Because as I just brought you information from NPR, the death penalty is no longer on the tables in the state of California. And the only way it can be reintroduced is by the voters. That's okay. I understand you all coming in late. So let me play this audio for you all again so you can understand what is going on in the court system pertaining to what Scott Peterson feels has been unjust in his opinion. Thank you all for joining me. Lord, these devices are not doing well today. Well, I don't know. There's been a lot of people done heinous stuff and they're walking around just fine. They're doing quite well, matter of factly. Thank you all for joining me. 49 viewing. Okay, here we go. Let's man, I tell you, nothing is acting right. I don't understand what is going on. Okay, hold on. Let me play you the said information. This was uploaded 2 months ago. This is News 4, KRON, and this is to explain the process of what Scott Peterson is accusing this lady juror of doing at the time of his trial. If you need verification, it is in the YouTube queue. One moment.
Laci. Court documents recently filed here at the San Mateo County Courthouse show
Hold on 1 second.
a woman who served on the Scott Peterson jury is demanding immunity to protect herself against self-incrimination. Rochelle Neese was summoned to testify for Peterson's upcoming evidentiary hearing, and this hearing will determine whether Peterson gets a whole new murder trial. Peterson has spent 16 years on death row for the murder of his pregnant wife, Laci. Court documents recently filed here at the San Mateo County Courthouse show Neese will plead the fifth if she is not granted immunity. Neese hired a new defense attorney, Jeffrey Carr.
I represent Rochelle Neese in a habeas petition involving Mr. Peterson's murder conviction.
If his name sounds familiar, it's because he was the lead defense attorney for another high-profile murder case that happened at this same courthouse in Redwood City. Jeffrey Carr successfully defended Tiffany Lee, also known as the Hillsborough heiress. Carr gained notoriety when a jury found Tiffany not guilty of murdering her ex-boyfriend, Keith Green. The verdict stunned many trial observers because of a mountain of evidence piled against her. Whether or not you believe Scott Peterson is a cold-blooded killer, the issue at hand is whether he received a fair trial. Rochelle Neese is accused of lying during jury selection to cover up her past experience as a domestic abuse victim. Like Lacey, Niece was pregnant when she was victimized, but during jury selection, she said she had never been the victim of a crime. If Judge Christine Mazzullo rules that juror misconduct did occur, Peterson's conviction will be overturned. I'm Amy Larson, reporting for Cron 4 News in Redwood City.
Okay, so the issue is when he went to trial, a juror lied about being a victim of domestic abuse at the time of pregnancy. It later came out some type of way. His attorneys, whomever, got wind of it, and now we are where we are today. But as I stated in this commentary, Scott Peterson's conviction of murder stands. He is only getting a resentencing, allegedly December 8th, of life without the possibility of parole. But he is adamant to fight that conviction on appeal because of this issue with the jury member. Now, mind you, this was her lawyer speaking in this commentary, stating he's representing her, and she's wanting to plead the fifth. So that means she doesn't want to talk about it, say anything in court. But in the end, I do believe he got a fair trial, whether she was an abuse victim at the time or not, because you're still saying 11 other members still said yay to guilty and death. And that's the bottom line. That is said information pertaining to Scott Peterson. Scott Peterson is a narcissist, a grand narcissist, sociopath. It doesn't matter. He knows he killed that woman and that baby. And that's the bottom line. And I do believe had he got a hold of that girlfriend, she would also be dead. Because everyone knows what they found in the trunk of his car was a kidnap kit. And why would you be walking around with rope, duct tape, knives, said items in your trunk? He was going to get rid of her once he found out she had been cooperating with law enforcement. And luckily, they intervened in time to get her out of the way where he could not find her or reach her. He would have surely killed that lady. And the sad part of the story, naturally, is that he did not have the guts to tell his wife he was not happy, and he killed her and the unborn child. He took the coward's way out. And he knew that had he left her, she would be taking him to court naturally for child support and alimony. So he didn't want to have to pay the piper and possibly didn't want to be a father. Now, one could say, now, Big Ange, why do you say that? I think it's obvious. He got in the game and didn't like how it was going. So he knocked off his wife and kid. You see, a dead woman tells no tales. Baby too. I don't want to be a father. I don't want the responsibility. I want my old life back. Come and go as I see fit. See who I want. Lay with whomever I want to lay with. But that's the choice he made by marrying Lacey. A very beautiful lady. Snuffed out by a buffoon. A bum. Scott Peterson is a bum. When you watch one of the movies made for TV movies, I believe it aired on CBS many moons ago, the lies he spun to that girl was ridiculous. Saying he was in Paris, France for work while people were out searching for Lacey Peterson. Lying, saying he was divorced or separated or something. All along, she was dead. You see, that is scary to know you have chosen a mate and you think they love you, and all along they are planning your demise. And you have no idea that your partner has checked out of the relationship mentally and physically. And that is what Scott Peterson did to Lacey Peterson and their unborn child. He checked out. Yes, a very sick puppy. And I pray that no woman or man ever meets the likes of a Scott Peterson or a black widow. It's all the same. Because I say this all the time in my lives, you do not know people. There are so many harrowing stories of people who have married others, who have had them killed and or killed them to get out of the marriage, to avoid paying child support, avoid being a parent. My thing is, you signed up for it, take the right road and just say, this isn't for me. But you see, they don't want to do that because they know there comes a financial responsibility with checking out. But you knew that before you married the person. And you knew that before you had sex without a condom and procreated. So how is that the child's fault? So now a child's been snuffed out coldly by his own father. Can't get any worse than that. That is the sad information coming out of California. The next storyline is pertaining to Jussie Smollett. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during the live. Thank you all so much for joining me. Please go to my community post to check out the movie of the week. The movie of the week is Emmanuel. It is a very diabolical story of a young woman keeping a child for her neighbor. I will not tell you the storyline because I would spoil it for you, but it is very sinister. Please check it out. Please check it out. It is in the queue. Emmanuel is the title of the movie. It is about a young girl becoming a babysitter for her neighbor, a single mother of one child. And once you watch it, you will see it is the craziest mess ever written on paper. And I will leave it at that. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Update for those who are not paying attention to the news. The Laundries are selling their house. I will try to bring you an update on that tomorrow. I will bring you an update on Summer Wells, the search for Summer Wells, the update of the Laundry selling their house. I have information on my community page to verify allegedly that they're selling their house. I wanted to make sure I went in to get another source besides another YouTube channel, and I did find it on the New York Post. You can watch the movie on YouTube for free, if I'm not mistaken. I found it on Peacock, I believe. I believe it was Peacock I found it on. But it is also, I just found it in the YouTube queue when I pulled it up to put it on my community post. Emmanuel is the title of the movie. That is the movie of the week. And update, Brian Laundrie's parents are selling their Florida home. Woo, mercy. All the things to bring you. This is something that was uploaded 3 years ago, this movie, but I found it very interesting. Okay, I'm going to bring you two audios pertaining to Jussie Smollett. He has been a dirty bird. He has concocted a scheme to say he was assaulted by some men in MAGA hats in January 29th, 2019. But we later learned he orchestrated this by two brothers, two African brothers. They have given said information to law officials that they did indeed go along with this ruse. It's a very sad situation. Thank you, Justice, so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Forbes breaking news is source number one pertaining to Jussie Smollett. This is saying Jussie Smollett wouldn't help police during investigation of his hate crime allegations. 2 minutes. Thank you all for joining me. Forbes breaking news is the source. You can find it in the YouTube queue. Hold on. I'm going to have to go back so I can read what is this thing saying. I don't even know if I can pull it up. Hold on. So basically it's saying it was a false report of a hate crime in 2019 that he staged. I think I'm gonna have to play something else. I thought this story was gonna be audio. Hold on a minute, you guys. I'll play something else. This is CBS Chicago, uploaded 4 hours ago.
Now to critical testimony in the Jussie Smollett trial.
The lead detective testifying today about how his investigation took a surprising turn. CBS 2 Charlie DeMar has been covering this story for years. He was in the courtroom today, joins us now live. Charlie, the detective said there was no rush to judgment in this case.
Brett and Erica, rush to judgment. That was Jussie Smollett's attorneys. That was their defense yesterday, that this whole case was a rush to judgment. The lead detective said this case was anything but. He said it was good police work. He walked the jury through the evidence of this case step by step from start to finish, from when Jussie Smollett was a victim to the time he was a suspect. Detective Michael Feast, the lead detective on the Jussie Smollett case, says about 25 Chicago police officers spent more than 3,000 hours and collected 1,500 hours of surveillance video to help solve the vicious hate crime actor Jussie Smollett reported January 29th, 2019, making it clear that Smollett was the victim at first. Detective Feast told the jury, "This was horrible. The crime was a hate crime. There was a noose. There was bleach. The mayor on down, everybody wanted answers. They wanted to know what happened." Police were looking for the men in this grainy video as the possible suspects, but detectives didn't know who they were. Then, a major break in the case. Brothers Abel and Ola Osundaro were identified from this rideshare video they took the night of the attack. I'm pissed off. Smollett went on national TV and said he was positive the men in the surveillance video were his attackers. Detectives thought they solved the case. I don't have any doubt in my mind that that's them. Once in custody, the brothers told investigators it was all a hoax. Police then spent days trying to determine if the brother's story added up. Feast said, "At the end of the investigation, we determined the alleged hate crime was actually a staged event, and the hate crime did not occur." From the rope the brothers purchased at the Crafty Beaver hardware store near their family home, to the red hats and ski masks purchased with the $100 bill Smollett allegedly gave them to buy the supplies, to video of Smollett's car supposedly doing a dry run of the attack, Detective Feast says the evidence showed that Smollett orchestrated the attack. Smollett faces 6 disorderly conduct charges for staging and reporting a fake hate crime. His brother Jojo read a brief statement in support of his brother before court Tuesday.
I just want to express that it has been incredibly painful as his family to watch someone you love be accused of something they did not do.
And during cross-examination, Jussie Smollett's attorneys, they brought up some what they considered homophobic social media from one of the brothers. They did ask that lead detective. The lead detective has been on the stand for much of the day. Judge Lynn expects court again to go till about 7 o'clock tonight again. We are live from the Lane Criminal Courthouse. Charlie DeMar, CBS 2 News.
And to see all of Charlie's extensive reporting on the Smollett case, download the CBS Chicago app wherever you get your apps.
CBS Chicago is the source for that said information. My home, as you hear, dry run. Somebody in the chat mentioned that. Justice, leave me alone. I had to think about that for a minute. He can hear me typing. Okay. This is baffling. I'm going to read you some commentary pertaining to what's going on in Chicago with Jussie Smollett. Thank you all for joining me. Lord have mercy. These people, I've never seen people who just don't sit down and just give crime a damn break. Let's be thankful nobody was injured or hurt in this because he was doing this for himself. Hello, Miss Broomer. Thank you for joining me. But we hear so many times, such as the crime of Lacey Peterson, you never know what can happen. In her case, she lost her life, she and her unborn child, by a monster, sinister husband. In this case, we have a overzealous, ungrateful actor who wants clout and couldn't be humble with the blessings God bestowed upon him. And he's sending letters to the studio and then hiring 2 brothers to pretend they harmed him to get attention and notoriety. But in the end, he is now a fallen actor with a bad reputation as a pathological liar, a schemer, a fraud. that is who Jussie Smollett has become. Thank you all for joining me. Updates. Brian Laundrie's parents are selling their home. Source, New York Post, and another source, I believe, is CN News on my community post for those who need verification. That will be the update I bring you tomorrow alongside Summer Wells. I will put those two in the same live as to cut down my times going live at different times for each story. I will also bring you another live tomorrow, a very harrowing story out of Memphis, Tennessee, pertaining to a bad online dating situation of a man going to a woman's apartment alone, and it jumped off very terribly. And rest in peace, young Dolph, the rapper who was gunned down in Memphis last week. His funeral services were today in Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you all for joining me. ABC7Chicago.com is the source. Jussie Smollett lawyer says there was nothing fake about alleged Streeterville attack that left actor bruised. The title, Jussie Smollett trial, CPD officer testifies that actor staged own attack, brother speaks out. Let me see if they'll play something for me. I hope they will. Thank you all for joining me. Yes, it's very sad.
Examination of that detective continuing at this hour. The defense contending that police focused on certain leads and ignored others, all to fit an incorrect narrative. The defense contends Smollett was the victim of a rush to judgment, but Chicago Police Detective Michael Feast testified CPD assigned 24 cops to the case, who compiled thousands of work hours while scouring reams of video. Everyone wanted to know what happened, Feast said. From the mayor on down, everybody wanted answers. From video, investigators identified 2 persons of interest near the crime scene, connecting them to a cab that had dropped them off, and then to an Uber ride near the taxi pickup, ordered by one of the Osendero brothers. When the siblings were arrested, Feast said they lawyered up, but began to cooperate after the Empire actor appeared on GMA to say these images were those of his attackers.
I don't have any doubt in my mind that that's them. Never did.
Feast testified Smollett texted Bola Osendero while he and his brother were in custody to express support, saying he knew they did nothing wrong. But under cross-examination, Feast acknowledged a security guard near the attack scene told investigators he saw a white man in a ski mask running from the area. Feast also acknowledging he was aware of an unverified report that Bola may have attacked someone on the Empire set for being gay. Feast said he never interviewed that accuser, the line of questioning drawing prosecution objections. Dressed in a gray suit and dark shirt and tie, Smollett today again surrounded by family.
We're confident in his legal team, and we look forward to people hearing the actual facts in this case.
The defense painting the Osenderos as hardened criminals at this hour, questioning that detective about multiple guns and drugs that were found in the siblings' apartment, as well as one of the brothers' previous aggravated battery conviction.
All right, that's ABC 7 News out of Chicago, Illinois. In the end, nobody knew who they were. Nobody knew about a criminal record. Nobody knew anything about these boys, young men, until they were caught on camera. Obviously, somebody was able to identify them, and they finally told the truth. They didn't have to ever tell the truth. They could have went all the way with it and continued to lie. But they told the truth. That Mr. Smollett orchestrated this crime, paid them. That's the bottom line. And in the end, some could say, well, what's the big deal? The big deal is once you file a fake police report, you have now lied to law officials. It'd be different if you had them pretend to do something to you and you just wanted to go tell your friends, pretend you were talking on your phone, walking down the street, and got assaulted and filmed it. Did you get where I'm going? And then you didn't go to the law. You just got sympathy that way through social media. And then naturally somebody would say, well, why you didn't call the police? So he knew he'd have to call the police to prove that it was real, allegedly. But in the end, I don't really care about what the brothers did or who had a domestic assault or whatever the assault is. The point is, they were irrelevant creatures before Jussie Smollett brought forth this fake crime. That's how I look at it. And in the end, they didn't orchestrate the crime. They didn't tell him, hey, let's rough you up to get attention, pay us. They had no dog in the race. He is the orchestrator. He was the one to benefit from pretending to be assaulted. They just went along for the ride for the almighty dollar. 1 second, please. I'm going to drop the link while I finish reading my commentary. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129. This is Cash App. Thank you so much. Forgot what I was doing. Goodness grief. Thank you all so much for tuning in. All new subscribers, new members, and people just in the queue board. Thank you so much. Yes, he hurt real victims. The prosecution's first witness in Jussie Smollett's trial was a Chicago police detective who was one of the lead investigators on the case, testifying the Empire actor staged his own attack. Smollett was again surrounded by his family when he walked into his second day in court Tuesday morning, but was testy leaving after hours of testimony, telling the media gathered, all right, that's enough, get away from us, get away. Prosecutors first called Detective Michael Thies, who led the investigating into Smollett's report, to the stand. He said more than 24 officers worked the case, spending 3,000 staff hours on the investigation while combing through 1,500 hours of video footage. Everyone wanted to know what happened, Thies said. From the mayor on down, everybody wanted answers. Prosecutors said there are facts that show Smollett staged his own hate crime. These told the jury that after reviewing 1,500 hours of surveillance, dozens of phone records and social media messages, we determined the alleged hate crime was a staged event. These said from video, investigators identified 2 persons of interest near the crime scene and connected them to a cab that had dropped them off and then to an Uber ride near the taxi pickup ordered by one of the Unsandero brothers. When the siblings were arrested, they lawyered up, These said, but began to cooperate after an Empire actor appeared on Good Morning America to say the images released by police were of his attackers. These testified Smollett texted Bola Unsandero while he and his brother were in custody to express support, saying he knew they did nothing wrong. But under cross-examination, These acknowledged a security guard near the attack scene told investigators he saw a white man in a ski mask running from the area. These also acknowledged he was aware of an unverified report that Bola Unsandero may have attacked someone on the Empire set for being gay. These said he never interviewed that accuser. The line of questioning brought objections from the prosecution. The jury was also shown police body cam video of Smollett with a noose around his neck minutes after police were called. The camera was worn by Officer Muhammad Beg, who said after gathering initial details from Smollett, he called in a supervisor, Sergeant Joseph Considine, who said he regarded the actor as a victim of a heinous crime. I was a little shocked, said the 24-year-old police veteran. I thought that he was being targeted. The defense contends Smollett was indeed the victim of hardened criminals, the Unsandero brothers, who they said had guns and drugs in their apartment. In opening statements, the defense said those drugs were heroin, but police testified Tuesday it was actually a small amount of cocaine. The defense also alluded to a possible third accomplice. Despite the case against Smollett, his older brother said he believes the facts were fine. He did nothing wrong. We're confident in his legal team, and we look forward to people hearing the actual facts in this case, JoJo Smollett said. It has been incredibly painful as his family to watch someone you love be accused of something they did not do. I'm going to play this audio. I believe this is of the brother. Let's see. I'm going to see how much more they've got left. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me finish this up. Oh, Lordy. Special Prosecutor Dan Webb has said Smollett orchestrated a racist and homophobic attack on himself with the help of 2 men back in 2019. But the defense claims the attack wasn't fake, that Smollett was hurt in the incident, and that the other 2 men involved were sophisticated criminals. Smollett's trial began Monday, nearly 3 years after the former Empire actor reported he was the victim of a racist, homophobic attack in Chicago. Smollett told police he was walking home early in the morning back in January of 2019 when two men recognized him and began hurling racial and homophobic slurs at him. He said the men struck him, wrapped a noose around his neck, and shouted, "This is MAGA country." Just weeks later, Smollett was charged with staging the attack to further his career and secure a higher salary. Police said he hired two brothers to pretend to attack him for $3,500. 12 jurors and 3 alternates were seated Monday, made up of 6 men and 6 women, only one of them black, along with 2 female alternates. Let me say that again. 6 men, 6 women, only one of them black, along with 2 female alternates. The trial is expected to last about a week, and it is not clear if Smollett will take the stand in his own defense. Smollett faces 6 counts of disorderly conduct, a Class 4 felony which carries a sentence up to 3 years in prison. But experts believe if Smollett is convicted, he will most likely be placed on probation. He has pleaded not guilty. Okay. I'm going to play his brother's statement. Just kind of favor him.
Its way into Chicago, now commanding a sizable share of the heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl markets.
To watch
held
someone you love
exclusively by this man,
something they did not do.
Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, leader of the Sinaloa
We're confident
cartel.
in his legal
El
team.
Chapo is locked up
And we
for
look
life
forward
in the U.S.
Oh, I'm sorry. This other story
Mexico.
playing.
But
Hold
tonight,
on.
both of their wives are in government custody. Chapo's wife, Emma.
Thank you.
Hold on. Let me go back because another article was playing over that one. Hold on.
Good morning. I just want to express that it has been incredibly painful as his family to watch someone you love be accused of something they did not do.
Ooh, Denise.
We're confident in his legal team.
Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to Scott Peterson and this story.
We love him. We're here to support him, all of us, and to lift him up. Thank you.
That's the brothers. I think it's the brother, the sister, and the mother that went to court to support him. Okay, that's commentary out of Chicago. And now we'll play the audio of the night the crime was exacted. Thank you so much. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Thank you. See if I can try to play it. Y'all can see it. Hold on.
Back in January, Smollett would later be indicted on 16 counts of lying to police, charges that
I don't know why these articles keep playing over each other.
Our very first look at video of that night.
Hold on 1 second. Let me play it again. Hold on. These articles just overlap each other. It's
Judy,
crazy.
it was here. Police say that alleged staged attack happened back in January. Smollett would later be indicted on 16 counts of lying to police, charges that were later dropped. Tonight, we are getting our very first look at video of that night.
It's like a star versus a he doesn't want that to be a big deal. You understand what I'm saying?
Chicago police officers walk into Jussie Smollett's Streeterville apartment. And right there in his living room, captured on body camera footage, Smollett is standing there with a rope he claims is a noose, loosely coiled several times around his neck. Police blurred Smollett's face in the video they released.
The reason I called because you want to take it off or anything? Yeah, I do. I just want to see that.
Just after that, the recordings of the exchange go dark at Smollett's request.
Turn it off? Yeah, you're giving us permission to turn it off?
Police say this is where Smollett's fabricated report of a hate crime began.
Illinois, it's not crossing the door. No, let me make sure.
Surveillance video shows the brothers Smollett allegedly hired to help him, climbing into a cab disguised in what looks like hazmat suits that one of them tightens around his face, headed for a prearranged attack site. When Smollett was considered a victim, police initially released this snapshot of the supposed suspects walking down the street.
Thank you, Doobie.
This is the video version of that photo. Weeks later, Chicago police officers were waiting on the tarmac for the brothers when they returned from Nigeria. Later that night, inside a Southside police station, the brothers claimed to investigators Jussie Smollett had paid them to stage the attack he'd reported as a hate crime. Jussie Smollett continues to stand by his version of events and maintains that he was attacked. Meanwhile, there is still a federal investigation going on into a threatening letter that was addressed to Smollett and sent to the set of Empire.
All right. So now, besides the alleged attack that was fake, now they're saying a federal investigation is into a letter sent to him and I believe to the studio. ABC7 is the source. It also says in this commentary, the Chicago police released their investigation files and video Monday of the alleged staged attack on Empire actor Jussie Smollett in late January. This is probably just the most ridiculous story. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to the said information in this live. This is a two-part live pertaining to Scott Peterson. Scott Peterson is wanting out of prison. He is now in a county jail waiting to go to court on December 8th. His lawyer made a commentary that it was hard for him to reach his client and talk to him. So he will be resentenced on December 8th, allegedly. This is a sentence of life without the possibility of parole. The conviction still stands in the state of California pertaining to the murder of Laci Peterson and their unborn child. He also claims that a juror lied on the questionnaire, and that is his reasoning for an unfair trial and wanting out of penitentiary. This woman is claiming the Fifth Amendment, her Fifth Amendment right to not speak. If you need verification of the said commentary from her and her lawyer, please go to my community post. I've played the audio from that during this live 2 times, if I'm not mistaken. And also, you can watch the video yourself in the YouTube queue. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to Scott Peterson trying to get his dusty tail out of prison, crying and moaning about a woman lying that she was abused while being a juror, and Jussie Smollett. Should he go to jail? Should he be fined? Should he pay all the money back to Chicago? That's the set information. Thank you for joining me. Bounce check. Y'all stop it. And thank you, Miss Darling, for sharing my content on Facebook. Amen. Hit the link. And please, mods, drop the link periodically through the live. Thank you. That is the set information pertaining to Jussie Smollett. He is a dirty booger. Indeed. Join me tomorrow for back-to-back lives pertaining to Summer Wells, the laundries, online dating crime that took place in Memphis, Tennessee a few weeks ago. Very harrowing story for a young man who went to a woman's apartment and got a big surprise when he entered into the apartment. There were other people waiting inside the said apartment. If you want to know all the said information, you can go over to my community page. I have the video posted to my community page from the news of what allegedly took place in that said apartment. That will be tomorrow's live number 1. Live number 2 will be pertaining to the laundries. They are moving out of the state of Florida or selling their house out of Florida, and Summer Wells, the search for Summer Wells. That'll be live number 2. And I don't know what live number 3 will be, but we will roll with it tomorrow. Thank you all so much for joining me. Love you too, dear. I guess nobody has anything they want to say about Jussie Smollett this evening. Y'all got an earful with my last live with crime lines and lies. I think I came on a little too late for her because she has to get up and go to work in the morning. Very disturbing. Yes, busy day today and tomorrow, but I have to keep you all abreast. And once again, Young Dolph, the rapper, his funeral was today in Memphis, Tennessee. I have not done any more coverage on him since a week or so ago. Okay, Justice trying to find his headphones. Okay, I thought Crime Lines was coming up. Let me step away for just a second and make a quick phone call. Hold on one second. Thank you all. Oh, Queen, trying to make it around. Okay. All righty. Nobody wants to take the plunge? Now, come on, you guys. Okay. Right now, the death penalty is off the table in the state of California, for those that did not know. Say what? Want to see you will have a summer tomorrow. Want to see all you have a summer tomorrow. Okay, honey. Who done it? Where you calling from?
Calling from Center Hill Lake in Tennessee, about an hour and a half from you.
Well, amen.
Yeah.
Would you like to first give me commentary pertaining to Scott Peterson, ma'am?
Scott Peterson, wow, they had to dig deep to find that information, didn't they?
What you mean?
That one of the jurors was not truthful in her opening
Well, you got to
interview.
remember something. We're in a world of social media. We're in a world where people like to repeat stuff. Somebody
True.
probably knew she had been beat up or whatever,
Yeah.
and they went and they told it.
Well, true. Yeah.
People talk.
Yeah. don't.
I mean, they got to tell something. I mean, it's just the world we live in. It's always started repeating something.
Well, you can only keep a secret between two people if one of them is dead. So.
Okay, Smokey says everyone in the house but me is asleep. Well, y'all come on up here and hit
Wake
this.
up.
I ain't trying to hear all that y'all talking about.
Get woke out there. Come on.
Yeah, get woke. You go ahead, girlfriend. You tell him.
The Scott Peterson thing, he is just I don't know. He's so gross, so demented, so dark, so all about himself. Go ahead, resentence him, give this a whirl. I don't think it's going to change much.
Amen. I agree.
So.
Yeah. My thing is let him try. Let him do whatever he needs to do. Trying to, talk bad about this woman who lied about being abused.
Exactly.
She 9 times out of 10 she lied because she knew they probably would say no, we don't want her as a juror, which we know you are supposed to be truthful. But I'm sure there are lots of people who are not truthful as jurors. When asked why would you like to be on the jury, I don't think the average person has ever told the truth of why they wanted to be on a jury.
I totally agree with you on that. Totally agree. So I'm, he can use the system to his advantage. Anybody would want to that needed to. So go ahead and do that. But, good luck.
Right. Good luck, Chuck. Amen. Amen, Mama.
And on the Jussie Smollett thing.
Yes, ma'am.
I just have to say, I didn't miss an episode of Empire. I thought that was a great show.
Okay.
Boy, every actor in it was so good. He was decent in it, I thought. But my first thought is, how many people did he let down?
A whole lot.
Yeah, a whole lot of people. I was reading this afternoon. That show cost $3 million per episode to make. So
wow,
that was,
really? That's a lot. That's a lot of money.
Terrence Howard was making.
How? I wonder why does it cost so much?
Well, they said that was about an average cost per episode for just about any show. It was not. It was not a low budget. It wasn't low budget.
Let me turn my camera on. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Go ahead.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I was just kind of asking questions about it because I wanted to know. Terrence Howard was making $125,000 per episode.
Okay.
I don't know. I tried to find out Taraji P. Henson's, although in
my so 125 an episode, that's one a week. So that's over 400 plus.
Yeah, he was
a month.
Right.
So he was making, I believe they said, what did somebody in the chat say? It was wait. 25. I don't know if was it 25,000 an episode? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was.
It came to about 2 million plus a year, I think.
Yeah, and which is that's good bread. Taraji P. Henson. I listened to your live, although I caught it on the stream
earlier
okay. today.
Okay.
And you got to know, she worked so long and so hard.
Yes, she did. I've heard her story. How long it took her before she got major roles in movies.
Exactly.
And so that's why I'm looking at him like, you got a lot of nerve to even do something like this when these people have been in the game way longer, older than you. And
yes, that's the whole point. That whole cast of people, and not only them. I think that his business, his mess up, was a contributing factor to the show only lasted one more season. It soured a lot
because
of people
like to keep the main characters for some time.
Yes, of course.
People just don't like to see their characters go off, die off. 9 times out of 10, when characters are killed off or whatever, that's because the characters no longer want to be on the show. They found a way to make more money. They're getting more offers and they leave, or they're wanting more money and the studio won't give them more money.
Right. So what a disappointment.
Yes, it is.
All of those involved. Just really let down. He let down not only his cast members, but like you said, he cast a big shadow on the city of Chicago.
Oh, yes. They said those people were so good to them.
Yes.
The cast members of Chicago, the cast members, I believe, have said that the people have been so kind to them when they were filming Empire. And that's what I've always tried to explain to people about the city. It says Chicago is a grand city. It is a city of the arts. It is a city of fine food. It is a city of sports. It is a well-rounded city. Right. People come from all over the world to go to school there, to go to the university in Hyde Park, the University of Chicago, to study law, all of that. And it's just atrocious that you were invited to the city to film a show, and this is what you would think to do.
Yeah.
To the studio, the cast members, the people in the city. It's atrocious. And you
thank you all very much.
And you wasted resources.
Well, wasted talent. I was thinking, okay, let's just assume for a minute, what future did he have? I mean, I think he was talented. I thought he acted his part quite well. But the number of shows, quality shows, featuring as major characters, I'm not trying to say something out of line here. Black characters have a great script and a great show, and it is going to open the door for so many others to come up and have a primetime show that's successful, that well written, that well acted, just a quality piece of work. And how many suffer in the down the line because of what he pulled to cast such a shadow over so much success that he, maybe he could have parlayed that eventually if he'd been patient.
Lord, listen at you talking about parlay. I ain't never heard no white person say the word parlay, I don't think, in a long time. That's a street terminology.
Well, I'm a little bit street.
I believe you got a little street white girl.
A little bit street.
So what that white woman know about parlaying? Shut your mouth.
Okay. Well, I parlayed a couple of times.
Oh Lord, no, get the testifying up here. See, that's why you can't show your face. See, ooh.
Yeah, that's why I got to be, be down on the down low. So.
Okay, amen.
Yeah.
I try to parlay at least twice a week.
Justice, please. No mess up in chair. Look, I was trying to listen to my last live with you and Justice and Honey. I had went and got me some Burger King, and I was sitting in that car laughing to myself. And I said, "Ooh, Honey."
I had to listen to it again too, and
I said, "You shows out, Queen."
Oh, God.
That was fun, though. That was lots of
fun. That last live was great.
Yeah, it was really
That was a
fun.
great live.
Hey, Justice. Good to see you.
How are you doing? You done it?
No better than,
let me ask.
Or worse than anybody.
That's right.
Who done it?
Yeah.
Tell me this.
Yeah.
Will he be found guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Will he get time or probation?
God, I hope he gets time for the things he's done, the people he's hurt, and the resources of the city of Chicago he wasted, and the careers that he just crashed and burned. Yeah, Thanks for that. I think he needs that time to go sit down and think about himself in a different way.
So you think the city will try to get their money? I can't remember if he paid a portion of something about $10,000. I remember 2 years ago he gave up. Yeah. It's nowhere near what the city spent.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't give a damn if he's picking up pop cans on the side of the road.
Yeah, community service for the rest of his life.
Absolutely.
Oh, we're going to add community service as well. And what might that be?
That's what I'm saying. You know, when they let the bus out from the prison.
You know what? I'm dead.
Go pick up pop cans.
He said let the bus out.
Yeah. You know those little bus thingies, those little vans?
Talking about everybody has to parlay sometime. Denise, you need to hush. We're trying to keep this nice and clean.
Y'all, hey, it's after 10.
So says he needs to repay everything.
I agree.
Well, yeah, I agree too.
Because the point is, like people are saying in the chat, there are real victims out there, and you took away from the time that somebody could have been chasing down a suspect in somebody else's case where they were actually offended, assaulted.
He took away
for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Whether it was racial or not.
Absolutely.
He took away resources to be the somebody else's case.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Denise says he'll probably get probation.
Well, you know, sadly in Hollywood,
famous people in general, even when they're not just well off.
Absolutely. White collar crimes. What they need and what they get are two different things.
Exactly.
You know, if it would be any of us, our asses would be downstream.
Oh yeah.
You know, but because you have this
tuna fish sandwiches.
Yes. That's right. Yes.
This is Smokey to the baby's in bed, y'all. Let's parlay up in here. I'm dead. I don't know. You might have some of them babies at your house, and they might be jumping up. Mom, what you done? You still watching that Black Lady, Mom? Look, I done seen some grown kids. I overheard a child talking to somebody that I know of, and I heard the toddler say to this guy over the phone, I'm talking to the man on the phone. This child gonna ask him, why are you here? I said, wait a minute. A toddler. Did you know what I said? A small child asked him, why are you here? And then he gonna say, oh, he's just playing. I said, no, he dead serious. I think what he's saying is, we ain't seen you in a month of Sundays. Why are you here?
Why?
Children are very smart.
They don't have a filter.
Yeah, don't sit here and try to play it off like the child just talking out the side of their neck. Now that child was wondering, excuse me, homeboy, we ain't seen you in months. What you doing here?
Right. Yes.
The kids are very alert.
Well, I can tell you, I mean, when I
Lord,
was
somebody said, I hope he shares a cell with Alec Baldwin. Oh, Lord. Ooh, well, my little paper flew off. Shooting targets, anyone? I can't imagine how that's going to turn out in the court of law.
Well, look at how this claim he has made, all these claims he's made, how that takes away from people in the Black community. This happens to all the time, and they don't get their day in court. And
exactly,
plus, he makes that less believable. Now the next person
it's everything. It's the crime itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Homosexuals.
Yes.
Black
he
people.
Served
you messed it up for anybody with a damn pulse.
Yes.
He did.
But
absolutely.
Yes,
that's right.
He did. So
yes,
I think he,
because people look at you crazy. You start coming and talking about they did this to me, they did that. Look how women are treated when they say they've been sexually assaulted. Okay, she fell off. Go ahead, Justin.
She done passed out.
That NyQuil that set in or saw what is.
Oh God, she's like, hell no, I'm out of here.
So let me ask you, what do you think is going to happen? Probation or time?
You know, I really think he'll get some sentence.
Like what?
Just like what's her name, Lori, the one with the college.
Oh yeah, wasn't that something? I covered
What
that.
was it?
I covered that too.
What
You
was
go
it?
back in my
3,
early videos.
6?
I've done a story about the college gate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was it? 90 days, 30 days, some BS.
And to me, that was bogus too. That was
Of
so
course.
bogus. Like, really? Are you this self-entitled?
Yeah, well, they think they are. They think they are. It's just very disappointing. Just in general,
The people who earn their way.
the people who really earn their way, who work their way up.
That's right.
I do not think that he started out in Hollywood with the wrong intentions. That's not, I think, most people who, come from a blue collar status, who work their way up.
But he was insecure with himself because he didn't have what it took to say, I'm confident about my talent. I'm going to go to the head knocker and put in my bid of what I think I'm worth.
Right.
Right.
Or,
right.
I don't know. And I don't know if he did or how many times he did. But to me, you're still insecure to resort to what you did in Chicago.
Yes. Something
Agreed.
like my first job, my bosses, they were from New York City. I'm in West Virginia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was 16 years old, and they used to hand me my check, and I used to say thank you to them. And they about fell out of their chair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would say, just thank you for giving me the opportunity to, feed myself at that time. And I worked harder than anybody that, that was around me. At least I tried, and I became assistant manager after a while. Later on I became manager. But I don't care if you're shoveling dog shit. Do it the best out of everybody.
Right.
And you will get
as
there.
they say, with honor and dignity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It doesn't matter. Work your way up, and trust me, the money will come.
He got too big for his britches. That's what it was.
Yeah, he got impatient for success.
Yeah, he was impatient. He wanted all the moolah right away.
Yeah.
But there's somebody in the business right now would love to have a 2-point-something million salary.
Isn't that Lord, yeah.
Because you got to remember, Empire is like any other TV show. That show spins into something else, such as commercials, advertising, public speaking engagements. So that lets me know you really are dumb and you don't really know the craft.
Absolutely.
You don't even know the craft of acting.
Didn't really pay his dues. Before got that early success is tough on people.
A lot of people can't hang. We've seen that with many people, sports, acting, musicians. They can't hang. They can't deal with the notoriety. They can't deal with the intrusion of people bothering them, harassing them, stalking them, people begging for money, people trying to get in their pocketbooks, people trying to scheme and scam, people trying to use them, using their name for clout. I get it. But you have got to buck up. You got to say, I'm watching everything. I'm in tune to what's going on.
It's part of the territory.
You will get trampled upon once you become famous. Everybody knows that.
Yes.
The people will use you.
Well, absolutely.
And the industry will use you. Let's keep it real.
Well,
everybody will use you.
Yes. I mean, you are a slave for the industry, more or less. I mean, that's exactly what you're feeding the monster. You're just feeding the machine. And that's life. I hate to,
I'd have more respect if you just bowed out and said, well, I need a little time off to myself, and they wrote him off that he went to Saskatchewan. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he got his mind
right.
Or bowed out of the show altogether.
Yes.
What you did was atrocious. That's just there's no word for that behavior.
True.
It's inexcusable.
Didn't even want to bring up all what the boys had going on. They had drugs in their apartment. But this is how I look at it. You wouldn't know nothing about the Undero brothers, what they had in that apartment, ever.
Absolutely
because
not.
they were nobody.
Never have heard their
They
names.
were nobodies.
Right.
Compared to who he was.
Who he thought he was.
So you would have never known that they smoked drugs, sold drugs, had an altercation with somebody. It would have been no different than hearing that somebody in Chicago beat up somebody.
Well,
just another incident. You understand what I'm saying? That made the news or in the paper.
Money don't buy you class.
Exactly.
No.
Doesn't buy you class.
I would like to be mildly rich, but I couldn't handle being famous. Laugh out loud. Interesting.
Well,
you rather have the money, but not the notoriety.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And trust me, there is throughout the country, there is a lot of millionaires who live a very quiet existence, who do not flaunt their wealth whatsoever.
A lot of people are wealthy.
Yes.
My daddy once told me that when I was younger. He said, I knew a man who didn't have 2 pair of shoes. He was a wealthy white man. And I said, what? My dad would tell crazy stories. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, he was a very wealthy man, but he didn't have 2 pair of shoes.
Yeah.
I said, my daddy, you making that up.
Mm-hmm.
He said, no, I'm serious. I'm not making it up. He said, and you would never know that he was, a very wealthy man. But to some degree, I believe my father, because my father met a lot of, influential people in his time working in Chicago, because he used to work for the Chicago public school system. Mm-hmm. So he met a lot of people in his travels. But I just trying to put together somebody wealthy with only 2 pair of shoes. That is just interesting to me.
Yeah.
We have a new guest, Doobie Redburn Darling.
Hey, Doobie.
Where are you calling from, honey? You gotta talk, baby.
I think she's talking. I think it's... Oh, she's got on mute. There she go. Oh, she can put it back on.
Unmute yourself, Doobie.
Hold on.
There you go.
Hello?
We got you.
Okay. I just wanted to say I love your channel.
Wait, tell me where you calling me from first, baby.
Where am I calling from? Texas.
Hello, Texas. How are you?
Dallas, Texas. Well, close to it. I'm in the country, but.
Okay, well, you ain't got to give me your address. I don't want nobody showing up trying to get no sugar from you, bro. Bar no sugar.
Anyway,
you two, they like to do addresses and zip codes.
No.
They some nosy old cinemas or something.
Yes.
I'm not worried about doxing. That is my real name, Doobie Redburn. That is my legal
name. Real name up here.
That's my real name.
I don't recommend that.
Well, I don't care. I'm not worried. Jesus,
yeah, you say that. Be careful what you claim.
No, I'm not worried. Anyway, okay. I wanted to tell you, I love your channel. AB sent me over here.
Yeah.
And when I first started watching, I couldn't stop laughing for one. And then I was crying. It was like watching a really cool, epic show. But you're very...
You better go. Well, I tell you what, since you like being on the internet, you make sure you call Tyler Perry in the morning.
You are very classy.
That's where I'm going.
But anyway,
I'm getting ready to leave y'all.
That's right.
The whole Jussie Smollett. I grew up in California. Yes, I lived in Southern California for 57 years before I retired. Hollywood is an evil, horrific place. I'm telling you.
It is.
Tell me why.
And I was just thinking today, I wonder, did he really act alone here, or did somebody put this in his head? Where did he come up with this idea?
I don't know. But see, look, let me tell you something. The mind is a fragile thing.
It is.
It plays tricks on you. It will talk to you. It will tell you you can fly. It will tell you you can swim. It will tell you you can float. it will tell you to take a life indeed.
All right.
You
The
see,
flesh.
of the flesh. Because that's what I tell everybody. You are of the flesh first. Your name means nothing. Who brought you here means nothing. Your job means nothing. Your Rolls Royce outside means nothing. That flesh will kill you.
It will.
Amen.
It will. The world, the devil, and the flesh.
It will be the death of you, your flesh.
Yes, it will, if you allow it.
If you allow it.
If you don't know the one who created this flesh. But, I did wonder, okay, he's a narcissist and what have you. But my other thought was this: yes, he took away from so many other people that are victims, that are true victims, like you were discussing earlier. And, my heart is very close to that because my brother was gay and he was murdered in 2011 because of it.
Oh my God.
And they have never, to this day, found the two people that did it.
Okay.
But I lost my brother because someone didn't like his lifestyle. I'll just say I didn't agree with his lifestyle, but I loved him and I don't judge him.
Okay.
I don't judge anybody for their lifestyle. I love everyone. And
well, if you don't mind, can you set it up for us how this came to be? Can you discuss it or no?
If you're comfortable.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I can discuss it. I was living in California and my brother was here in a small town near Dallas, a little town called Balch Springs. It's Balch Springs, Texas. And he didn't show up for work. So the work called my brother that was living here, my other brother, and he went over to check on him, and he was the one that discovered him.
Was the door locked or unlocked?
It was broken into.
Broken into.
Oh, wow.
If you don't mind telling me, where exactly did your brother find him?
He found him in his bedroom with his head shoved into the wall.
So sorry, Debbie.
Down
So
on his knees, and he had been severely beaten. He was beaten to death, and he had a heart attack in the process of the beating.
Okay.
But
now, 2011, right?
I'm sorry.
2011, you said.
2011, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was November.
Give me the prognosis. So give me the prognosis of what the detective said, suspects, and where we are today.
No, you're not going to believe it. The police chief himself and the detectives all said, well, there's not much we can do about it. It was probably drug related. Just because there were drugs in that area. My brother was not into drugs. I was going to say,
did your brother use drugs?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am, he did not.
Set it up for me. Is this, I'm assuming you're Caucasian.
Caucasian.
Okay, your brother was Caucasian.
Yes, he was Caucasian.
What's the area in where he lived predominantly Black or Hispanic?
No, Caucasian.
White?
Mostly. Well, there's a mix.
Okay.
A mix.
Oh, okay, so a little bit of more white people. Okay, but what? More of a working class white area?
Yeah, he lived in a trailer park.
Okay.
You know, and it wasn't a bad trailer park. You know, it was pretty good. There were some nice families in there. I mean, you have your idiots too.
So that means somebody heard somebody break in. That's first and foremost.
Nobody heard the break-in, but they heard an argument.
Huh?
They heard an argument.
No way you didn't hear break in and then heard the argument.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a trailer. We're not talking about a big metal wooden door. You can see where I'm going.
Yes, I do.
You heard him kick in the door or them.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. You hear somebody argue and everybody's neck's out the damn door.
Yeah. But guess what? Nobody saw anything.
Oh, I know.
And if they couldn't even remember the color of the truck that the guy was driving, that the one guy was driving.
So it was a truck? How you find that out? How'd you find out it was a truck involved?
Exactly.
Because the trailer park manager told me, and this was years later, she told me there was a truck with two guys and one was tall and one was medium height. and they showed up there and they had an argument with my brother. And then
So
later that night.
Okay, where is the manager's place of what living versus where your brother's
down about 2 spots and across from him.
Like 2 doors over?
Down 2, like across the street and down 2. And it's not that far of an area, maybe
down. Okay, because usually trailers are close together anyway, the trailer park.
Yeah. Yeah, something
so what
like
he
that.
saying? So he stood up and looked out the window?
No, he came out. They went in. She said they went in and they were arguing. And then the 2 people left, and as they did, they were threatening my brother. And he was telling them, you better not come back, and such and such, such and such. And it was over. Where was
your brother at the time when they were arguing?
Huh?
Where was your brother when they were standing outside arguing?
He was on his porch, and they were getting into their truck.
So what are you saying? They left and came back?
They came back later that evening. And that's whenever he was killed.
So do you know to this day what the argument was about, baby?
No, I don't.
Did the person who told you, did they hear what they thought it was about or heard what it was about?
No, they just said that men were screaming and calling each other names.
I think
now, my brother was a security guard for the Bank of America in Plano, which was a very nice, affluent bank. And I just wondered if it didn't have something to do
with the
maybe
bank.
With that. But yet the way the cops treated it, the reason I call it a hate crime.
Oh, it is
because the way
the
cops treated him and treated the whole case, they acted like it. They laughed about it. The chief of police laughed about. I won't even tell you what he said because it was so disgusting.
Okay. Well,
and made references to that.
Doobie, is there a new sheriff in town?
Yes, there is.
Then
the old one's gone. He died.
Well, I mean, I just think pressure needs to be applied.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really think so?
Oh, hell yes.
Message me on IG, and I'll do a story. Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, let me tell you something. Pressure goes a long way, and I just want to share something with you. I am LGBTQ. Not a surprise for most of you guys that see me.
You what? What you say, huh?
I am shocked.
Yeah, and no doubt. When I open, it sounds like a purse falls out of my mouth. But anyway, well,
since you got your pocketbook open, give me some damn money.
That's right. You want my
your
Lily,
smile
honey?
Is gorgeous, Justice.
Oh, thank you, appreciate it. But listen, I have twin boys. I've been with my now husband for 17 years. Okay.
Oh, God bless you.
Listen, I don't like bullies.
15?
I freaking wish, girl. God, I wish. But I don't like bullies at all.
I don't
for
either.
anybody, shape, or form. I don't have to like the way anybody lives, but they have a right to freedom and happiness as long as they are not harming any other human being.
That's right.
And,
Amen.
And God will be the judge.
That's right.
We leave it with God. That's what we do. But
I'm sorry, I need to take up your whole show like this.
You're okay, but write down that Big Sexy 71 on IG, okay?
Okay.
And then call me later tomorrow. Call me tomorrow when you get up.
Okay, honey.
And Doobie, I can talk to AB about this as well. And listen, we can apply pressure. Trust me.
All it takes is just the name and lights.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Absolutely.
And then call the newspaper and ask if you have an update to the story. Call the chief and ask the same thing. Do you have an update to the story? Hi, I'm the sister. I'm the only living, blah, blah. And just follow from there. Ask, where is his case stand right now? And that's it. And put pressure on him, honey.
That's right. And let me tell you something. If they say, and I'm going to tell you something, Doobie. fight. This is your brother, and I mean, I know it feels like you're alone, and it feels like the world has given up on him. Do you know what I mean? But he was a human being.
Absolutely. I loved him so much. He was the greatest guy in the world. And I fought for 2.5 years
Well,
just
how old
to
was
get
he? Do you mind telling us how old he was, sweetheart, at the time?
I'm sorry, what, honey?
How old was he at the time?
He was 60. He just turned 61.
61?
Yeah, he just turned 61. He was
61-year-old man got beat up.
Huh? Yeah, he was 61 years old. But he was a very strong person and a loving person and a very smart person. And
let me ask you this. Do you think your brother knew these men personally?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Because he said, don't come back again. You know what I mean? And usually you say that to somebody you know.
Yeah.
And
these.
Well, I'm just saying, anything can happen to where somebody show up at your house because we have.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because somebody could send them to his house.
Absolutely.
Somebody could send them to his house.
I could use the help because I fought for 2.5 years under the Freedom of Information Act just to get his files. And it was really hard. But anyway, Queen, God bless you, justice for all who done it. Thank you for giving me a platform
Very
tonight.
interesting. I've told you.
God bless all the victims.
Justice is new to this channel, but I've seen the story with a Caucasian man that I was friends with many years ago. He and I would get together and we would drink on, Tuesday nights. That must be the turn-up nights because he didn't have to work on Wednesdays. That was his off day. So he'd say, hey, Angela, I'll come up, bring drinks, woo-woo. And he'd sit in my bed with me. He was a gay man, older white man. And he'd crawl in the bed with the queen. I know y'all like, oh, yep, that's my little white boyfriend. He'd crawl in the bed with the queen. And we watched scary movies together. Now, this man was much older than the queen now. And I remember talking to someone who's like a relative. We were close like relatives, and she knew him from back in her heyday when she was living a wild life. And the 80s was a very interesting time. And she said, did such and such ever tell you about the time he was assaulted? And I said, no. She says, well, I'm going to tell you a story. I said, okay. She said, well, he and a guy had frequented certain club here in Knoxville, Tennessee, where men and women went to commingle. And they met another gentleman there who wanted them to take a ride with them, leave the club. And my friend and his friend left with this third party who took a ride with him. Unbeknownst to them, whatever they thought was supposed to happen did not. Okay.
Wow.
This third party took the two men out to the country in the middle of nowhere to play a little game. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's called See If You're Gonna Live Tonight.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
That one took off running for his life. He was the winner.
Oh, Lord.
My friend was not.
Oh, my God.
The man caught him and damn near beat him to death.
I'm so
and
sorry.
left him for dead.
Did he survive?
Yes. My relative told me that when she went to the hospital to see him, she did not recognize him in the hospital bed.
I can believe that.
His face and head was so swollen that he was unrecognizable. He never told me that story. So you can imagine what it was like going back around him, knowing that he had encountered that in his youth as a young man, leaving a gay bar with his other male friend with another stranger. And who knows, maybe they were going to do a little something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. The point is they were misled and they were picked up under false pretenses.
Sure.
And these things happen to everyone at some point in life, no matter if you are gay or not. You have to be very careful about leaving bars, places with strangers, because they trusted this man to go do whatever it was they were going to do, and he turned on them in the middle of the dark, in the middle of nowhere. And one goddamn
I'm gonna have to leave because my phone's dying. But I'll be in chat. God bless you all. Thank you.
Okay.
You too, Vivian.
Get in touch.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing.
Get in touch with us.
Okay. Bye-bye, darling. Thanks for
Bye,
sharing.
honey.
We're gonna help you, okay?
We are.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, baby.
Leave it.
Good night.
I'm gonna leave.
So I'll take you down, sweetie. Hold on. So here is many moons later. He's older, early 60s, whatever, or late 50s. It was hard looking at him knowing that had happened. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
Absolutely.
And my friend had a habit that when he would drink, he was very touchy-feely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was like two different people
Yes.
when he drank.
Right.
When there was no alcohol, it was as if he was a whole nother person. He rarely spoke. He rarely talked. And I told him that one day. I said, you're like two different people. I said, when you don't drink, you don't even say two words.
Yes.
It's like, he don't even conversate. It was scary. But once he got the liquor in him, he became flamboyant. He talked a mile a minute, hollering, screaming. And I would be like, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
So, in my mind, I jogged my memory back to that story that was told to me in confidence, thinking, who knows? They were probably drinking, enjoying themselves, he and his friend. Here comes this guy coming over, probably making a pass, making the guys think he was interested, but that's not what he had in mind.
Right.
Yes.
He wanted to torture someone, kill someone. And that's very scary to know. We have people out here walking around like this.
Yeah.
Now,
Today.
Was this man gay, or was he a closet homosexual man? I don't know, because I don't know all the details. But nonetheless, you can get yourself in a jacked up situation if you are not careful.
Yes. Hate is alive and well.
Yes,
it is alive and well today. And it doesn't matter if you're gay, if you're black, if you're Mexican, if you're Chinese, it doesn't matter. There's always someone to hate you.
They don't need a reason. They don't need a reason.
No.
Yes, Denise, very scary. And when I would look at him after that, I felt sorry for him because I thought he could have lost his life out there in the middle of nowhere in the dark. Can you imagine running for your life in the middle of the country? Out in rural America, you're running for your life.
Yes.
That's literally a nightmare.
It is a nightmare because one got away.
Yeah.
But the guy can't work with two. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And these types of things happen to people all over the world. United States, all demographics, race.
Right.
Get in the wrong company with people, and they are not in the mode that you think that they are in.
Right.
Terrible things happen to people all the time because they hooked up with the wrong damn people.
Yes.
Like you say, you don't know who people are. You don't know what's in their mind.
And that's why tomorrow I'm going to bring you a harrowing story out of Memphis, Tennessee, of a young man who goes to a woman's apartment in Memphis 2 weeks ago, and he had to fight for his life when he stepped inside that apartment. And you can go to my community post to check out the video pertaining to the news story. That will be one of the lives tomorrow. But I want to talk about online dating because I'm a single woman, and there are other single people out here wanting to date and meet and greet. You don't know people. I have made drastic mistakes myself, meeting people, trusting them. And that's the thing, that once you're alone with somebody, it doesn't matter if you're in the restaurant, they can flip out in the restaurant. They can flip out once you walk outside the restaurant. You could be just saying, well, we'll go to the park and sit and talk. They can flip out in the park. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because if I'm crazy and I really want to do something to you, it doesn't even matter that it's in public. You have crazy people out here.
Yes.
So I always want to keep people in the know who are single and dating.
Yes.
Please be careful of the company you keep, going places with people, meeting people places, going to their homes, apartments, and or bringing them back to your home, because you could also meet a guy, woman, however it goes, and you could been on dates out in public a few times, and then you feel like, well, I like him, he's nice, I'll give him my address. Well, who he was in the restaurant,
Yes,
3 times may not be the guy who walks in on the 4th round.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Exactly. And that's a scary feeling when the tables turn. You have got to figure a way out of that situation, because many moons ago, my aunt said to me, she said, you take a lot for granted inviting somebody to your house thinking they're going to, play nice.
Mm-hmm.
I always remember that. He may not play nice when you shut the door. God. Denise, here go Denise. Carry a taser. Denise.
Denise loves that electronics.
Denise, I always want to stun somebody. She's the stunningest black woman I ever seen in my life. Well, Arctic, you're right. You could be a target if you smile the wrong way. Exactly. But yes. The point is, when you invite somebody into your home, you are not thinking about the taser. You might have mace in your bra or something like that. But when your back is turned, your guard is down. You may go to the restroom. Excuse me, I need to go to the powder room. You come out that powder room, you don't know if he's standing behind the door, if he's willing to charge you, push you, you hit your head. You don't know how it's going to be.
Well, you know, if you fall asleep, you know what I'm saying?
Everything.
Yes, true.
Hey, guess what? Like my aunt said, if you decide to be 60 and play a little, grown folks game with your company, it doesn't mean he will play nice because you even gave it up.
Right.
Nope.
See, that's the myth. Well, I give it up, whether I want to or not. I'm all right. No.
No.
He might decide he want to put his hands around your throat, cover your face with a pillow. You see, that's what Samuel Little would do with his dates. He said that in interviews. I always had a fascination with the woman's throat and neck as a child.
Yes.
When he got an adult and he was alone with the woman, he had the fascination to strangle her.
Yes.
And that was his MO until he was apprehended.
Yep. And it happens every single day, and everybody thinks it won't happen to me.
Of course. Who wants to think that inviting somebody over or going to someone's home, they're going to choke you or beat you to sleep?
Right.
Nobody.
Or sexually assault you.
Right.
Torture you. Who would think that?
Yes. I'm trying to recall a verse. I think it's in Proverbs. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked.
Yes.
The imaginations of in the hearts of people is deception is alive and well everywhere.
Because you don't know people.
Yeah, people don't want to tell the truth. They don't want to represent who they really are.
Nobody.
They want to represent that there's
because you can be whoever you want,
they are.
Especially with social media now.
Right.
You can take pictures and pose in front of a car that you've rented or your friend's car, or walk to the dealer and pose in front of a car. Now somebody thinks you got this car. You paint it up. You're looking nice. People think you're happy. They don't know that yesterday you thought about jumping off a damn bridge. Nobody knows your inner thought. Like they don't know that Angela said, I'm getting ready. People don't know that, just yesterday morning, I was getting ready to choke somebody next door because you were trying to blow me up at my home. But then
nobody can say it.
And
nobody
she says,
can say it like you, Queen.
Welcome to Everyday Shenanigans. Just yesterday, I wanted to some damn body.
Oh my God.
Queen keeps it real.
You do. Too real sometimes. Yeah.
Oh God.
You don't know people. And
I don't trust anybody anymore.
Well, you can't. And that's the same thing I've told Brooks from Crime Lines and Lies. You have to be very careful the people you partake with. in this thing called YouTube. It's all the same. You don't know people's agendas. Many people come in pretending to be friendly, wanting emails and all that. Queen ain't dumb.
Right.
Yeah, I used to give trust away for free, and now I make people earn it. I
you have a number where I can reach you. You got an email.
Yeah.
Are you on Facebook? Hell no.
No, I'm not.
Hell no.
Well, you know, for me, I don't want to be shut off to the world so I can't enjoy good people.
No.
But I want to be smart about it. Because I really believe most people are decent to an extent.
To an extent, yeah.
Yeah. Now, sometimes, it's kind of just like 9/11 or anything else. A handful of people fuck it up for everybody.
Yeah.
But that's anything.
Right.
It's anything. That's what I'm saying.
That. People judge the church, and I hear that when we talk about Summer Wells, and when you're talking about, this political party versus this, the name is obsolete. The name of the street, the name of the housing development, that is a structure. People make the structure. People make the church. People make YouTube. People make Facebook. It's the people that's the damn problem.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
And it's people, it's always going to be the problem.
Yes. Their spirit isn't right. They're misguided. So they're going to be a problem over here, over here. There's just some people, everywhere they go, it's going to be a malfunction.
Yes. True.
I think it is human nature, and it is in our nature. And the thing about it is none of us are happy every day. And
it's impossible to be happy every day.
Right. Exactly. But just because we are unhappy in the moment, this is what I say, it's a bad day, it's not a bad life.
It's perfectly said.
Yeah.
That's right. I want to whoop your ass, and now I'm getting ready to go get me a piece of pie. You understand? I'm pissed off for 2 hours, but then I take a nap, I wake up, start all over.
Yes.
That's how you have to do it, or you'll crack up.
Yep.
When it lingers, the anger becomes something else after so long. And then it becomes just a little evil little monster. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. It grows.
It grows.
Grows.
It gets feet and tentacles and everything else.
It's a cancer inside of you. It really is a cancer inside of you. And it will grow if you feed it.
See, the devil knows his name. I always say that.
Yeah.
He knows his name. He's going to bring it. He going to use folks. I know well.
Yes.
He loves my telephone line.
Has he got you on speed dial?
Honey, he loves the Queen's phone. They send messages, crazy stuff, do crazy stuff to you, and then got the nerve to dial your phone and say, "How are you today? Oh, happy Thanksgiving." And you're like, Satan.
Yes.
First of
How'd you get my number?
I don't, Satan. Didn't I tell you don't call me?
Yes.
But Satan said, "Well, Anya, I got the number. I'm gonna keep calling until you block me." And then I'm still gonna call you because Queen didn't know that even once you block them, they call and star 60, whatever you do, and still get through the damn line.
Yep.
I said, "How are you talking to my phone?" Oh, I just press what you call it, star 60. What is it, star 69 or 7?
I don't know anymore.
When you block your
I think it's star 69.
Star 69. I think it is. Yeah.
When you block your number.
Where they can't see. Where
I never knew that.
Pops up on.
So I block your number, but yet you can block your number and still call me, and I just blocked you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Welcome to America.
Yes. Where your car warranty has expired.
Yeah, it's expired a million fucking times a day.
Y'all are sick.
I tell you what, I have these people that call. They swear to God, they called me minimum of 5 times a day trying to sell me Viagra.
Oh.
And I'm like, Dude,
You must have filled out some type of survey.
honey, I didn't fill out no survey. I've been married 17 years. I don't need
I mean, but you know how
Viagra.
you go on the emails, they have you fill out stuff like, are you this? Do you have aches and pains? Those lead to people sending you stuff through your emails and telephone numbers.
I think they just buy numbers. You know what I mean?
Too.
It's just data.
Are
And
you having performance issues?
yes.
Well,
Well, exactly.
Try this little pill here.
And one day I got so pissed off, and I called them. I bet you 50,000 times.
Why? Why?
Because and they would answer every time. Hello, talking from India and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'd be like, "Oh, do you need Viagra? And finally they were like, "Sir, okay, all right, we'll stop." I was like, "Listen, you mother, don't call me anymore." I mean, that's like
so funny.
Because the thing about it is, it's like you tell them, "No, I'm not interested." They just hang up on you. Don't take me off your, click.
Yeah, some of them do that automated. They'll say, it'll be automated first, then they'll say, press 2 if you want us to take you off the list, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I want you to take me off the damn list.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, who done it? I ain't know you had done left.
I keep hitting something on my phone. And
well, honey, quit doing that. Don't do that.
I keep trying not to, but, I'm going to do something wrong about every 5 minutes, so.
Okay, so who done it? Let me ask you something. What do you think should happen to Jussie Smollett?
What I think should happen to him?
Mm-hmm.
I think he should get some prison time. I think he needs to be charged for the money of the resources of the city of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needs to try to reimburse something, if not all.
All of it.
I don't think he ought to get any commissary
and then
some
right. No tuna sandwiches.
Right. Exactly. He can
shepherd's pie.
Right.
You know what? I can't. What is that exactly?
I don't know.
He deserves that. Don't you think he deserves that?
Yes, he does that. He deserves
that.
And more than that.
You can't just smack his hand. That was an enormous thing he did. It wasn't some.
It was below zero. What? Right. January 29th. That's my birthday. It was below zero.
Yes.
Okay.
And he took bread out of people's mouths on down the line.
And these people are running around trying to investigate a crime, an alleged crime in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
Look at you. Do you know how many hours they spent? Because I read it in my commentary. It's cold. It's freezing.
They're
running around, going from building to building, trying to get audio, video, running in and out, in and out, in and out.
Because he took resources from people who needed it at that time. I'm sure there was a bunch of car wrecks and everything else.
Thank you.
Well, look, there were other people being assaulted at that time. They couldn't get.
Well, Chicago has a lot of crime.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And but bougie him.
Yeah,
they're going to cater to him at that. Yeah, I mean, I bet you everything stopped.
Right.
Well, his castmates supported him in the beginning until
I heard that. Somebody in the chat earlier said that Taraji is still supporting him.
Is she really?
I don't know. I would hope not.
Kind of pulled back
I would hope by now she'd say.
Probably.
This all it took for me. When the boys went on and told the truth, that's been it. I don't need to hear nothing else.
Me either.
I'm not going to sit here and now try to say, "Oh, they're bad guys."
Yeah.
Because it makes no logical sense to try to put all the blame on two guys.
Yeah.
Because they don't have anything to gain. Who has something to gain from the act itself? Not them.
Correct. He wrote a check.
You're trying to say, that's what we're saying. You can't make it seem like they were desperate for money, so they found some gay guy that they didn't like because he's gay, and then went and assaulted him. It makes sense.
And
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and then to top it all off, when the police showed up at his apartment, he is standing there with a noose around his neck, the most heinous symbol.
Yeah, I played that earlier on the phone, showing you what it looked like when he was They blocked his face out. But see, that's what I'm saying. That I played that so people could see the grand acting. That he had this all mapped out.
Exactly. Exactly.
He had this all mapped out.
And they could tell
it's
from
atrocious.
Yes, that's a great word for it. That and despicable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, he literally really spat in the face of people who I'm sorry, what was the lady that was on here just a minute ago?
Taraj. Yes.
Doobie.
Doobie. Her brother was actually killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your friend was beat the hell up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that is those are two people that are actual victims.
Correct.
Nooses, went around.
A loose noose at that.
Right. But slavery and everything else. He literally spat in the faces of his ancestors.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He marginalized his own.
I mean, that's why you know he planned it to a T.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, absolutely.
He didn't plan it thoroughly to where he could have gotten away and his cohorts could have gotten away. But that's the point.
Right.
They become so arrogant in themselves.
Yes.
That they think it's a perfect plan.
50 ways to plan a crime.
100
ways to get caught.
Right.
Absolutely.
Criminals are never as smart as they think they are.
Because right now we live in a world where there's cameras everywhere. Right. So it's very hard to do anything. I don't care what it is. Taking a walk. You want to go up here and pee in somebody's yard. You didn't poop or scoop. You want to take something off somebody's lawn, the front porch, a package. Somebody 9 times out of 10 has a doorbell camera.
Yes. I was already thinking about that with Doobie's brother.
Yeah.
It was 2011. There's a lot of cameras in 2011.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, check the damn stoplights. Check the damn stoplights. You know what I mean? But sadly, my mother lives in Texas. My aunt, sister, they all live in Texas. And sadly, in some especially rural areas, the sheriffs, they don't care. They simply don't care. Now, if you're I'll just shut up. I'll just shut up.
Well, can I ask a question? Can I?
Yeah, go for it.
What, other than a raise in salary, is it possible
TZ,
that Jussie was thinking to jump to a bigger stage, like a national stage?
It was
with a where
I think he thought that this act was going to get him sympathy because he was bidding for more money for what was alleged at first.
Yeah.
Listen.
I think he had larger ambitions, and I may be wrong about that, but I know that he had participated in several things for whatever the black causes and those kinds of things.
Well, then you should have went on and did those things then.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree because
he was doing that.
He was going to be the darling of the LGBTQ community, the darling of, for race. He was going to be, in his mind, I think this is part of what may have motivated him to play to both of those things. That's
right.
That's what he chose. He didn't just get beat up, in an alley just because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Mm-hmm. He was, allegedly beat up, which we know he wasn't. But because he was gay, he, they had the slurs in there. Because he was black, the epithets thrown at him and the rope around his neck. He played to those two bases. And I think he thought the national attention
being black
garnered.
Yes,
right. He played that up so pointedly. I mean, he overplayed it, really, if you ask me, overacted the scene. and just blew it for that.
He is now the biggest loser. How about that?
And he is, and
Yes.
all of that for now. He's nobody. He is
Nobody.
nowhere man. Now.
Nobody's gonna ever trust you.
Yeah.
Nobody will. I told the chat earlier when I went live yesterday. Jussie Smollett is somebody who I would not want to cross for nothing.
Right.
Because if you would do this, you are susceptible to do something else, such as poison somebody.
True.
He will go out of his way. I mean, literally.
Yes. You would be that guy in the office that will steal somebody's idea, pour Kool-Aid on somebody's computer screen. That's what I see with him.
Just vindictive.
That guy.
No conscience.
No conscience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bring in brownies laced with boric acid. I see him as that person.
I agree. He's a step
A very
away from
vengeful
that
person. He's vengeful.
Yeah, very.
I mean, this is an elaborate plan.
Yeah,
it's too elaborate. That's why you know he's capable of doing worse.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Capable of doing worse.
Exactly. And you know, he's going to be. He knew he was going to be on every screen in America.
Yes.
Every social media in America.
Right.
And that was going to, he thought, give him sympathy,
well, you
boost
see how
his career.
Right. Yeah. Boost his career.
And he thought he was going to be a champion, actually.
Yeah. Like
well, you see how he was in that video that I just played when he had the noose around his neck.
Yeah.
And then when the interviewer was asking him questions, he was just like, but I knew for sure when I saw them, they were the guys that did it. And I was like,
of course, you handed him the check.
He's sitting up here lying his ass off. Man, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now imagine this. He'll also be the one to say, I want a baby.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I want to be somebody's daddy.
A reflection of himself.
Absolutely.
And have mercy if any agency would give him a child.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that plan.
He is a child.
They're not gonna give you a puppy. You'd be lucky if you can get a damn dog at PetSmart.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't approve him for that.
You hear what I said?
No, that's right.
You better stick with the goldfish eye.
Yes. I wouldn't trust him with the damn goldfish, 33-cent one.
Yeah. No.
I wouldn't trust him with the goldfish cracker. So
Hey, what?
I said I wouldn't trust him with a goldfish cracker. Those little cookies.
I mean, it's sickening. Now you were gonna say something earlier. What were you gonna say? Somebody in the chat said they know what you was gonna say. Christy 1687 says they knew what you were gonna say. What were you gonna say, honey?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
No, I really don't. I'm trying to think. Oh no, he could have. Whodunit, she was saying, he could have been a champion, and he could have actually been a wonderful champion.
Yes.
For the Black LGBTQ community, not only for Hollywood but for a society, because that is needed. I would think, I mean, I can't speak for the Black community, but culturally, what I do know, with yeah, I don't want to get it, but
just say what you want. This is a free platform.
I know. Well, I'm just saying, with culturally, with the Black LGBTQs, sometimes they're not as accepted even within their own community, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, let me tell you this, and like I said, because of his behavior, he's diabolical to me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I would not put anything past Jussie Smollett. And let's talk about this. Imagine what he would do to a lover who left him.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Lord. It puts the lotion on its skin, or else he gets the hose again. That's what he's going to do. He's going to throw you in the...
Stay woke.
Yeah.
He would be the one to get you fired.
Oh.
Sugar in your gas tank, slit your tires, break your window out,
lie about you,
lie about you,
put
nasty things out about you on social media.
That's right.
And do another hardened thing, hit you in the kneecap with a crowbar.
Yes.
Where I'm going.
Not the Queen's ever done that.
Oh, the Hardy thing. I was
thing.
waiting for you to finish.
You know
that
that. You know I got you that damn girl Tanya Hard name. You know what the hell I'm talking about.
I know she got.
You coming around that corner, Lottie dot thing.
You out. See ya.
Sorry,
Bye-bye.
just trying to change his tire right now.
I'm telling you, Smollett is that guy.
He is that guy.
He is that scorned female. I'm going to get you by all means necessary.
Yep.
You left me over. I owe you one.
Yeah. And he was upset that apparently those letters that he sent saying, he was being threatened.
But that's where the federal
that's where
case is coming in.
Yeah,
they find
letters he sent to himself and sent to the studio.
Right. And he didn't think that the studio was. He didn't get. They didn't give it the attention he was hoping they should, and that made him mad. So to your point, Queen, about
I want to know what was said in the letters to himself and the studio.
He was apparently some racial epithets were in those letters, and he was being threatened.
Oh, trying to make it seem like somebody was stalking him or something.
Right.
To the studio while you got that gay guy on the show, some stuff like that.
Right. Basically, hate mail.
So you said hate mail to yourself.
Yeah.
It won't. Hate mail to your boss.
Yeah.
Then you pay somebody to pretend to put a noose around your neck and scratch your nose.
Right. Exactly. So you thought all that, aren't you?
Is this somebody that a man would want to be involved with?
Well, honey, he's gonna get some men in prison. I can tell you that.
He sure is.
Be a lot of intent.
Bet you. Hey, guess what? I bet you won't be going in there talking crazy to no big boy.
I bet he won't either. I bet he let him try. Be some
he's gonna
intense
be someone's bitch.
Fellowship.
That's what he's gonna be.
He's gonna be in bad shape.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm sure he thinks about that. What if I get these 12 members and they decide to put me inside of that little box? Miss Broomer, why don't you come on up here?
Yes, come on up. The water's fine.
What if they put me in that little box? They don't show me favor. Well, I find it interesting they ain't got but one black person on the jury.
Yeah, I think that's I believe in an equal justice system.
Yeah, I do too.
And even for him, even for my worst enemy, I believe in that with all my heart. And it's not fair for him, in my opinion, that there's only one black person.
Well,
they
made it that way for a reason.
Well, I think they make that way for a reason for a lot,
But my thing is, I'm sure we have some very well-rounded white people and other races that's on the panel.
Yeah.
He probably gonna get it.
Just consider for a minute
He probably gonna get it.
that he really angered the black community in Chicago with what he did.
Yeah.
So a jury of his
he embarrassed them.
may not have.
And that might be the reason why they was trying to the defense was trying not to get a lot of black folks.
Right.
On the panel.
That makes sense.
It makes a whole lot of sense.
Now that you say it like that, yes.
Yeah.
But
I hear your point, and to your larger point, I couldn't agree more. I was just thinking in that particular instance, a jury of his peers may have been so angry with him for what he did to the city and to the community. Like he was down for the struggle, only he didn't get down for the struggle.
Yes.
Well, come on, weird white girl, talk that down. He showed wasn't for the struggle, and he didn't know how to parlay being on Empire. Come on, he didn't know how to parlay that job into commercial speaking engagements, a music career, blah blah blah. You screwed all that up, homeboy. Your 2-point-something million a year could have been 10-point-something million.
It could have been. It could have been. That's just He's the big loser. He's the big loser.
He's the biggest loser.
And the thing about it is if he would have gotten by with it, the satisfaction of him making it wouldn't have really been there, because it really is the journey to get there.
Yeah, he would have known that he got it by fraudulent means, that he wasn't authentic.
But it wouldn't have lasted.
No.
Something really bad would have happened to him because he has the mindset of a sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
So he could have done anything else we don't know nothing about, and that would have came to fruition. Do you see
well,
you know,
he built his house in the sand instead of the rock.
That's what I'm saying. So karma was going to come back around.
Yes.
And it's probably been a whole lot worse than what was orchestrated in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because see, what's going to happen, let me tell you what's getting ready to happen to Jussie Smollett. He's going to meet somebody more diabolical than himself.
Yo, he let me tell you something. Yes, he ain't gonna get no bougie.
He gonna get him a thug and Gucci loafer. Shut up, Queen.
Yes.
And they gonna take him and run him through the washer.
Yes, they are. I hope 7 times a day.
Oh, I love you, baby. I need you.
Yes.
And he gonna think that man really in love with him, and he gonna suck him up.
He really
Every
is.
damn thing he got. You gonna tell you how cold? You know he gonna get him something like Love Fraud off of Showtime. You think you met that great guy on the internet? You come home, all your shit missing out your damn penthouse. Come on. Ain't left you nothing but a tea kettle.
Yeah. That's right. Your damn tires are taking off.
Hey.
They done took
now you done went and said the damn tires. You ain't gonna leave the damn tires on the car. Just take the whole damn car in.
They done took the catalytic converter off.
Next time you got some evil people out here like that. They own it for the ride to come up. And guess what? That's why I said he gonna get the same thing.
Yeah.
Hello, Miss Brummer. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay. You want to start with Scott Peterson? Hello?
Are you there?
Where in the world did he come from?
Yeah, it took you so long. We thought you had dozed out.
What?
Hello, Miss Josephine, you home?
No, he needs to stay right where he's at and continue. I mean, I know it's this. What you said, the sentence was coming back up now.
December 8th for the resentencing.
The
conviction stands for the murder, a life without the possibility of parole. So he ain't coming up out of there, but he's trying his best to try. How do you feel about the woman who allegedly lied about being in a domestic situation to become a juror?
Well, I'm sure everybody else. I mean,
I guess it ain't as bad as putting a noose around your neck and pretending
exactly.
It's okay,
exactly. Nothing right.
I mean, I think if we're honest, every jury
has lied.
Right. How many times did they say, "Have you heard about?"
Sir, tell me, why are you on here? Are you here? Do you think you could be fair or biased? They ain't gonna tell you, hell yeah, I think he's guilty, and I can't wait.
Right. Nobody's gonna say that. Right. Who's gonna be truthful? Nobody is truthful.
Are you a racist? Oh no, never. I love black people. I love Chinese.
Let me just take this sheet off my head, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's just basically the way.
Walk right out and go straight to the bus stop. Put your little over thing over your look. You put your little hoodie on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ride them, cowboy.
It's crazy.
So, what do you have to say about Scott Peterson besides where he come from? His mom.
The juror, that should not have any bearing on it. I'm sorry. It's done.
Okay. So. Okay. Now, Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smelly Face.
He's gonna have his face full.
Who done it says her phone died.
I'm not gonna. I don't think he's going to be in there for. I think he's going to go to jail, but not for long.
Yeah.
Small sentence, something like a 2-3 year sentence.
Yeah, and then he'll be on probation for about 10 years.
Okay.
Because he's going to live a pitiful life. So.
And then he gonna come out and meet a pookie that's gonna steal all his damn money, whatever he got left.
And he ain't gonna have nothing.
He ain't gonna have no money left.
He's gonna
have a pathetic, sad life.
Nope. He ain't gonna have nothing.
He gonna be at Costco.
Yes.
No, they're not even gonna take him at
Costco. Not the Costco greeter.
Because they'll be afraid.
Yeah, remember me? I was on Empire.
He'll be 70 years old.
They don't want him there.
Look, Empire might have a curse. You see what happened with his brother. the one that played his brother, he was accused of beating up the girlfriend out there in Arizona a year or two ago. So they tainted. It's something on that set, some type of hoodoo going on.
It's just self entitlement.
Yeah.
I can do what I want. I got it going on.
Yep. And it works for some.
But you're not thinking that nobody is going to keep you on a show if you have been accused of sexual assault or domestic abuse. They should have learned that from Grey's Anatomy. Oop, did I say that?
Yeah.
But criminals don't think they're going to get caught. They think they're too smart.
Or racial slur, rather.
Well, it's just like those the family members with the college thing. They thought that they was going to get away with it. I mean,
Lori knew better.
A hard
Your child could have. Why you couldn't just pay for her to go to school like other people pay for their children to go to school? That you got the money to pay. I don't understand that.
But they thought they was going to get away with it. I mean, they didn't get bad sentencings, but they didn't think they was going to spend a day in jail. They was above that.
Well, I mean, they pay $1 million to build a wing of the library or whatever, and it works. It works for so many. But let me tell you something. When that kid gets out of college, he still don't know a damn thing.
Well, they didn't know a damn thing when they got in there.
Exactly. That's the reason their parents was paying for them to get in there in the first place. Dumb as hell. They're entitled kids.
You are stops about dumb as hell.
And the kids knew it. The kids knew it. I'm sorry. You don't know nothing.
Yeah, of course.
Sitting up there.
How are you gonna stay afloat then?
They just came to party.
Even if I make the down payment and they accept me on my name alone, I still got to do the coursework. Somebody gonna have to do it.
No, they'll pay somebody.
I'm just saying, but
yep,
that's just working harder.
Well, then you was gonna be a busy bee.
Yeah.
There is.
You're gonna be writing a lot of checks weekly for 4 years.
There's different standards.
Somebody to type up your papers.
Yes, there's different standards in this country, whether we want to realize it or not.
It's all social economics, race. It's all the same.
Absolutely.
A lot of people right now have good jobs because of who they knew. Somebody recommended them for the job or mentioned the job. They put in a good name for them. They may not have been as qualified as Susie over here, but they got it on a recommendation.
Yes. Yeah.
But hey, that makes up this is what makes our society.
It's been going on since day one.
Yep.
Yes.
Hey, I got a friend. He's a great guy. She's a great lady. Blah blah.
Yes. It's all about clout, who you know and who you blow. That's it.
Yo, what y'all tickled about?
Oh, you missed that one?
You missed that one.
Huh?
You missed that one.
She went over Queen's head.
What'd you say?
I said it's all about who you know and who you blow. Am I right or am I right?
Oh, yeah.
I got arthritis. I'm gonna leave that alone.
It's true.
Y'all horrible. I get choked. Oh mercy! What a live. So much I have to bring to you all tomorrow. Lord have mercy.
It's going to be a busy day tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow is because the folks down on the ground in Hollandville. Well, let's talk about that for a minute and I'll check out of here because I'm already 2 hours, 23 minutes. Justice, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, I pray with every fiber of my being that little baby is found tomorrow. I pray today when, I really think that they have something, some intelligence, some, I don't think they know where obviously she is, but I think there has been some activity from cell phone data, from even GPS, word of mouth, excuse me. And, it just happened out of nowhere. This has not happened in nearly 6 months.
Well, where is she?
Well, that's a good question. But you know something? They said today that they had not even checked all 11 acres on the fucking property.
Where you hear that at?
They I'll send it. Well, I don't got your emails.
I don't have an email.
Better drop it in the link.
I
put it on a community post or drop it down here. It don't matter.
Okay.
What you mean? You talking about the property that they reside on?
Yes, because they said they couldn't.
Don't do this.
I'm telling you, I'm not lying.
Because everybody kept arguing about that in the well, in this. So there's no way you're gonna tell me after all the people been making these comments and I think she's in the sewer, the septic, the this. You gonna tell me they ain't searched? So that means you ain't searched with a canine.
They said that there was some areas that they could physically not get to because of cliffs and everything like that. So that happened today. They admitted that. I don't know if it was. I don't even know if there was a.
I don't think they will put her right close to throwing her over a cliff off their property. A little ways down, but not right at the. You understand what I'm saying? Nowhere right there.
I don't think it's going to be at the end of the yard
or something.
Right. But they're working down at the end, basically of Ben Hill at the church. They're working, just down the road. So she's somewhere. It would be
make me sick to my stomach.
Well, yeah. That was when I heard today, like I literally felt, that feeling you get before you bust out crying.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt that in my throat.
You know what's interesting to me? All the stuff we've been doing, talking.
Mm-hmm.
There's such a difference between the moment the story airs, you form an opinion, you stick to the opinion,
mm-hmm.
you do what we're doing here, chopping it up, and then the day you get the remains, kind of like the Petito.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was in a step. Hey, there's a white girl missing out of such and such. She was last seen, blah, blah, blah. Then you start forming an opinion. Then you wait to get all the little details. And then, voila, we have remains. Then here comes what we doing now.
Mm-hmm.
See where I'm going? It's stages.
Yeah.
Then he's missing. Where is he? Do what we doing now. Chop it up. Voila, remains. See what I'm saying?
It's a process.
Everything's that's a process.
Mm-hmm.
So you start 1 minute with the story of an Amber Alert. Then we got news interviews. Then we got he said, she said, Pookieville, Bubbaville, on and on. YouTube videos, psychics. You see what I mean? Stage after stage.
Yes.
The version we wait now will be, this is what we found over here.
Right.
This is what we have, digital, blah, 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 satellite.
Yeah. Well, this is where the evidence piles up.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where
when we get the bang.
Oh, absolutely. Because, when they announce the suspects.
TV saying the same thing. They didn't check. I never heard that until you sitting up here now.
Yes.
I assume they checked everything.
Well, shit. Everybody did too.
Property.
I about fell out.
Well, it probably was. Maybe I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. It was a bunch of just stuff there.
Well, I think
it's just.
I don't remember.
They said they checked everything on that property as far as like the buses, the this, all that kind of stuff. They let that be known that they checked under all that stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now this version of terrain means probably the stuff of the drop-offs.
Right.
Exactly. But that's where bodies generally go.
Did anybody see Tweedledee and Tweedledum?
Yeah, man.
Anybody hear from them?
Did you hear from him back then when they were searching for him?
No. I just thought maybe something miraculous happened.
Like somebody said, you ain't gonna hear nothing until tomorrow when somebody bring up forth a video about when they went live. So like they said, they like to turn up on Tuesdays, is what the chat's been saying. I just don't understand how you could walk around this detached.
Right.
And your child is missing. Your other children have been taken from you. Your children before that were taken from you, each individually. And all you can do is talk to a fucking YouTuber, social media, post stuff. That tells me everything I need to know.
Yep.
I don't care what nobody else says.
It really does. And
you show me you don't give a damn. You never cared.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's why she's missing.
Like, like I said, if they didn't do it, they know who someone who did. And if they didn't, they are some sick people.
Well, they are sick.
Detached. Either way, detached.
Either way.
And, you get really, we all spend a lot of time and energy for these victims. Gladly.
But they own don't.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And that's sickening.
Precisely.
I'm telling you, when I covered Cupcake, that was my very first true crime case that I covered extensively. That's how people came to know who I was.
Right.
It drained me literally to where I could see myself, bags under my eyes when I would go do my uploads. Whatever. I didn't never do this right here. I was like, this is affecting me. All the messaging every day from different people, because at one point people had a way to reach me. And it was exhausting. My phone rang morning, noon, and night. Through Messenger, all that. And I was overwhelmed. Then I realized I was talking to people who seemed to be just as crazy as the biological mama, daddy. And I realized I need to get off this YouTube thing because I think I'm treading in dangerous territory with some of the fans. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I started seeing the side of a certain person who was unhinged. And people started talking about her on other channels.
Right.
And that's when I said, enough of this heifer. Cut her loose.
Yeah.
And I had to get a hold of myself because that case was a very popular case on YouTube. 2 years or so ago. It's very popular.
Yes.
Because here's a little black girl missing from the projects. And then it was a place where hell she didn't even live. So it's like, how is she missing and she didn't even live there?
Right.
To this day, that mama, I feel the same way about her like I feel for them boys from Cal City. I don't got no respect for you.
Right.
Yes.
They may have cleared you, but I think you are the reason she's gone because you left her unattended in the Tom Brown housing development.
Yes.
So you gave the killers a sword. Do you understand what I'm saying? You gave them a sword.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
because a 3-year-old has no business unattended for hours.
Right. You're absolutely right.
Anything could have happened to her. She could have been sexually assaulted on the property. It didn't have to be outsiders came in looking for a victim. It could have been some random pedophile walking the project, the streets out there.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think they might find something now since it's a little less dense out there. I think they might. And like you said, they said it was planned. When was it planned? Yesterday? How do you plan this? So that's what I'm now. I think
that's why I said it live. When did you all plan to do this search?
Right.
Well, I mean, they have
when the leaves are falling off the trees, you made a say, oh well, this day we're gonna go in and look for somewhere else.
Unannounced until I mean, it was unannounced really till the very last minute, which anybody's going to respectively going to do that. You're not going to tell people what has been searched and what has not been searched and when you're going to search.
But somebody made a comment saying they're searching property of people who they didn't want their property searched and they got search warrants. See, I don't have no verification of that.
I've heard that.
What you laughing at, Denise?
Justice.
What's so funny?
Because everything he says, yes, I have heard that.
I've heard a lot on YouTube.
I know it's a lot. Pookie said, sucking on a lollipop. Pookie said that.
Pookie, Boo Boo, Ray Ray.
Man, I don't want to hear nothing else about Pookie, Ray Ray, Felicia, Jody Sue, Monkey Joe. I don't want to hear no folks talking about.
God, I mean, it is.
I just hope it needs to be. She needs to be found.
Yes, we can go on something else.
She needs to be found. Yeah.
It's time.
But then it'll start again with the two nuts.
This is old, man.
Yeah.
It really is.
Oh, woo, bless you.
It really is.
Yeah. This is sick because guess what? Tomorrow, or it's today rather. It's December 1st. Okay, so in 20 more days, if they ain't found nothing about Cal City, it will mark a year that they. And we don't have any evidence that they actually went missing on that day that those people reported them missing.
I think that's what baffles me the most about these situations is because they just sit back and say, "Oh, I don't know what happened. This is what happened, and I'm sticking to it." And then it's like, okay,
and expect you to believe it, and expect it to appear believable.
Right.
So that's one thing about these stories; they don't sound right from the jump.
No, they don't. And then they're allowed to go and live life.
Yeah, because Cal City is a prime example of foolishness and diabolical beings.
Right.
These people have never said nothing else after first talking to the news. You have never seen them rally, pass out flyers, stand by the billboards, nothing. That is so heinous, man.
Those kids were nothing but a paycheck. Keep it real.
Yeah.
That's what they were.
Because once we never heard of verifiable, what I'm trying to say, income, just put two and two together. Well, it must have been for the money.
Yeah.
The state.
Yeah, I mean, it just be, what's the, is it AP, who has really been there since the beginning? Do you know who I'm talking about for the Cal City boys?
The YouTuber?
Yes.
AB?
No, not AB. Which AB covers it. I love AB.
I don't know AB.
I think it's AP. The chat will probably know. You really need to watch him, Queen, if you haven't, because he goes and he faces that neighborhood and the family, and he'll yell at them. He's like, you don't want to know where these boys are and everything? You ain't nothing but a coward and everything. They just keep walking.
Oh, you're talking about AV. You're talking about AV.
AV. Yeah. AV. That's what. You know what I'm talking about?
Wow.
It is. Everybody are just hush hush.
Let me tell you something about one of the videos that one of them did. I don't think it was AV. It was the other guy. I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, he and the wife, or girlfriend, or whatever, was walking through the neighborhood. I was watching and I had dozed off. Right? I remember
Rayshawn.
No, honey. Hell no. It's the other white guy that does the news. The news has the news paper leaflet or whatever. Anyway, him and a girlfriend or wife, whatever, was walking through the neighborhood, talking to neighbors, going to different neighbors' homes or whatever. And I was like in and out of sleep watching it. So I dozed off, but I could still hear him talking, in the videos. I wasn't fully asleep. I'm telling you, when I finally started dozing off and getting into a deep sleep, I had this sick feeling that came over me in my sleep because I could still hear him talking a little bit. The television. You understand what I'm saying?
Twilight.
When I came to, it was a sinking feeling. It's something about that desert. I'm telling you,
I'm telling you,
it's
that
that
place feels
weird feeling
evil.
like it's that weird feeling like when I was going live and I was reading the information and realized it was deja vu about that notebook in the swamp. This to me was worse with Cal City. I felt sick when I came to, and I was literally scared of my own television set because I was looking at them walking and talking, and I was thinking, man, they don't need to be out there. There's something wrong and something sinister out there. That was just a sinking feeling I got. And I told myself, I would not want to be out there worth a damn. I wouldn't want to visit you. I wouldn't want to live out there. There's nothing there. There's no pretty flower beds. There's no trees. There's no, you see where I'm going? There's nothing green. Don't look nothing like Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's too flat. It's sand. And I told myself, you can see for miles of nothing. I thought there's nowhere I'd want to live and raise no kids, or I don't care if it was just myself or my husband or whoever. I just wouldn't want to be there for no reason.
Feels very raw and evil.
That's what it feels like. It's sterile. That's the word.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's raw.
It's very sterile.
And it just feels evil. You know, the houses, it just feels
too far off, especially when they showed the drone footage.
Nothing there.
That was scarier. You're sitting there looking down rather, and so many houses are grouped together from the sky, and then poof, nothing.
Yes.
Get past those houses. And I told myself, oh yes, Soul Survivor, a killing field. Exactly. That starkness is spooky as hell to me. It's like ghost land, ghost town. I thought, who would want this? Who would want to get stranded out here? Even if you're on a major interstate, hell, I wouldn't want to get stranded.
And nothing still there on the interstate. I mean, I would not want to live out there.
Because see, I live in Tennessee where it's green. So I'm used to flower beds, rose bushes, what we call Christmas trees. You know what I'm saying? Just pretty green trees, lawns.
Lush.
I could not get used to nothing but clay and dirt. I couldn't get used to that. Even when I was watching this movie the other night, they were in Vegas, and I thought, no, it was Vegas, and they were Nevada's where they were. And I looked and I thought, ain't nothing out here. Who would want to be out here?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
When you're out in the desert,
Doom.
that's all there is.
Perfect. Doom. That's what I think of. Like Doomsday.
It's the way it feels.
With Tina Turner in it from years ago. Thunder, what you call Mad Max or whatever. Hell to the now. That's what I think of. Just sand.
Yeah. I think of Aaron.
Some people, it's beautiful to them. The desert is not beautiful to me. I would not consider the desert beautiful.
Well, I mean, it's not a place where I want to live. You know, I mean,
I'm telling you, it is a drive-through place. I don't give a damn if it's back road and or major highway. We're going through. That's it. I don't want to linger. I don't want to go to your house for a barbecue.
Yeah.
No. It'd get a damn.
Because my fear would to be stranded. And God forbid I had to walk. It's dark. Hell no.
Yeah.
The place is scary. And then when they was filming all this stuff with Cal City back in the winter, every time you turn around, you're hearing about somebody discovered some bones somewhere. So that means somebody else was missing.
Exactly.
Nah. That's creepy as hell to me.
Yep.
Who done it said fly over would be better. Hell yeah. That's right. Tell me when we in Los Angeles.
Yeah. You know, I was actually
anywhere.
LA. I mean, I've been to LA many times. And let me tell you something. It is not what it's cracked up to be. It's a damn junk pit.
Well, you know, I know there's some beautiful places in California. Now, come on now.
Yeah, well, I mean, no place that anybody can afford, though. I mean, let's just get real.
Well, that's the turn off for California. It's the price of living.
Let me tell you something.
Cost of living.
You know, Tennessee, the East Coast, New York City's a dump, too.
Ooh, you showing
Sorry.
Wow.
No, the New York. Listen, I love New York.
Yeah,
City.
look at him. He coming out, ain't he?
No, listen, but it looks trashy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you say some parts of it.
Yeah, New York. Yeah, not the upper east, west, and west side, upper east, upper west, where swanky, and they got the pretty black gates around the properties, the pretty park, and all that.
I've been to the swanky parts.
Upstate New
I'm
York.
talking about like when you're riding the subway.
I know what you're talking about.
Subways could be
inner city.
Yeah.
But it's. I mean, I love to go to New York and have a good time.
I know when I went there, I was in all like, oh, I'm here, and I couldn't really think straight because it was like, this is New York, but I couldn't just grasp a hold of really that I was there. I just kept saying, I'm in New York, I'm in New York, and I'm looking around, and the one place I didn't really care for. I was just like, it was interesting. That's all I can say. It was very interesting.
Yeah,
I've been to New York a few times.
I like going there. I like just going, like for the day. And then come back home.
I like now the drive going in was interesting because I was coming from from Chicago, going into New York from Chicago. So it was a very interesting trip. So I was going from state to state to state. Pennsylvania, all that.
Yeah,
it was very scenic. Very nice. In the winter, it's different. Going through New Jersey was nice. I was like, wow, this is New Jersey because it was kind of wooded. So I thought, this is New Jersey. It wasn't what I thought, but that's the point. I've never been there, so you can't really say what it was going to be.
Right.
But,
I guess it's with anything. There's plus and minuses about anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I love to go to Manhattan and have a good time.
Oh, of course. Yeah, somewhere real swanky and nice.
Yeah.
Where the rats ain't opening the doors for you.
That's why you go doing.
Look, the cockroaches ain't smoking a cigarette.
They went put little Kim fur coat on.
Yes, but it can also be a sad place.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is. But one, overcrowded. Everybody's stuck on an island together, each other.
I mean, let me tell you something.
Way to live.
It gets cold in Tennessee. It gets really cold in West Virginia. I live 10 minutes from a ski resort. Let me tell you something. Yeah. New York, with all that metal and concrete and the wind blowing in the winter, it is blue.
Yes, it's horrifying.
Coming off the lake.
I know, because I've been to New York when it was cold. Each time I went to New York, it was winter.
And I have literally stepped over
January and February.
Stepped over people.
So I didn't get to see New York.
In the middle of the street.
I would want to see New York when the trees are in full bloom. It's warm. People are out. You understand what I'm saying? When you can really enjoy the city.
But let me tell you something. It is extremely hot in New York.
Of course, all the concrete.
Yes, all that concrete and heat.
And no shade, no trees. You don't have enough trees for the oxygen. Yeah.
Yes, and it is really hot. The subways down in the subways.
I remember the time a couple years ago when the power went out. I said, Lord, I'm glad I wasn't in New York.
Oh, God, I remember that.
Yeah,
when the power grid went out, the stories I heard, I said, man, them folks going to crack up there. Them folks going to crack up there.
Yes.
That's just not a place you want to be because I remember they had to walk across that bridge from work. Yeah. Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
It is.
Walking miles to get home from work. Can you imagine?
I'd rather live in LA or New York City any day than Cal City. For damn sure.
Damn.
Yes. At least we got Rodeo Drive and Times Square.
The developer, the guy who was trying to develop Cal City into a mega place, he had big hopes for it, but things didn't pan out. I talked about that briefly in one of my lives last year. So I was trying to bring a little knowledge instead of just gabbing at the mouth about something. I'd bring stats when I do my lives. I always try to bring stats about the subject matter I'm talking about, so people get an idea of what I'm talking about.
Right.
Just you giving your opinion, but I like to bring you stats of how many children are missing in California, what Cal City was at one time, the idealisms that was set up by this developer to make Cal City this great place that it never became. It just basically became a ghost town.
It has a story.
But see, a lot of people wouldn't know anything about that. They just think, okay, there's 2 little black babies missing, but they didn't know the bio on Cal City.
Yeah, absolutely. What what makes Cal City Cal City.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta go to bed. I have to be up at 5 a.m.
Yes, it is almost 1:30. Yes. Thank you so
yeah.
much for joining me. Thank you, Boz. Thank you.
All right.
Mhm.
Good night, everybody. Good night, chat.
Good night, Miss
Bye.
Brewer.
Good night.
All right. That was Justice and Miss Brewer. Thank you all so much for joining me. This was a 2-part live pertaining to Scott Peterson, who's going to go to court on December 8th to be resentenced. His conviction stands life without the possibility of parole. Naturally, he's trying to fight that due to a juror lying in his case many moons ago that she was a domestic violence victim. She's pleading the fifth. We will see how that turns out. I'll bring you an update pertaining to that story. The other live tonight was pertaining to Jussie Smollett. He's attending court in Chicago right now. I brought you said commentary pertaining to what took place in Chicago. Detectives testified in this storyline. You got information that basically he was not cooperative in trying to aid the case. A lot of man hours went into gathering video footage, surveillance of the said areas in this case. And my thoughts is that, he needs to go down. He needs to pay Chicago back the money. He needs to stand a tone. He needs to apologize to the great city of Chicago, the police department, the people who investigated the alleged hate crime, the faux crime, the district attorney's office, the great people of Chicago who afforded him the opportunity to film in the great city of Chicago. The people were very kind to that cast, producers. And this is how you show them your gratitude. Jussie Smollett is a very heinous individual. He's cunning. He's a sociopath. And as I've said in this live and the live yesterday, I would put nothing past him. He's not somebody I would ever want to sit at the table with under any circumstances because I wouldn't trust to leave a drink on the table with Jussie Smollett. He is that diabolical. He is that same guy who would do evil to a lover, mate. He's that person that probably would put rat poison in your tea casserole. Yeah, I'm saying that because you would go this far to get attention, to get a higher pay. What else would you do? See, that's what you always have to remember about heinous acts. If you do this, then you'll probably do this. And you also have to ask yourselves, what has he done that hasn't been repeated and put on paper? Make him stand account, 12 members of a jury. Find him guilty. Make him pay the money back to the city of Chicago. Give him jail time. Make him earn his keep because he was trying to steal his way to stardom. And there are too many people in the game wanting the same. I myself, one of them, late to the game. But this is not the way to do it. He's a cheater. He's a fraud. And he would do this again. Thank you, Soul Survivor. Thank you so much, sweetheart. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. I will be live tomorrow with information pertaining to the second day search of Summer Wells. I also will bring you commentary about a online dating situation that went wrong in Memphis. I will also bring you more information about Jussie Smollett court date tomorrow if I can. I also want to tell you that the laundries have put up for sale signs on their property in Florida. I posted someone's content on my channel, my community page. I also got verification that it is true through the New York Post. If you need verification for the said information, the laundries have put their house up for sale. Where they're going, I do not know. If they're going to stay in Florida or move out of the area or move out of the state, I don't know. When I get this information, I will bring it to you. It's a lot of busy bodies right now. The devil is busy. You all stay safe out there. Be aware of your surroundings. Mind the children. Remember to be aware while shopping, day or night. Don't leave parcels on the seats. Don't leave your big boy boxes outside by your garbage can. take those and put them in your car SUV and take them to a public dump so that way people do not know you just bought a big boy TV, stereo, Bluetooth, whatever. Do not post all those goodies to social media. Keep it between you and your close friends what you bought, okay? Want to keep you guys safe for the holidays. And know that somebody's not that fortunate this season. Somebody's lost somebody. Somebody is not making enough money. Somebody's homeless. So if you can do anything kind, if it's just to give somebody a hat, a scarf, a coat, please do so. Donate to your local charities and thrift stores. People are always in need. Because like I said, somebody is outside sleeping right now, and it's cold outside. Somebody maybe is not as fortunate as you are, fortunate as myself. Give back if you can. Thank you all for joining me. Thank the mods on deck. You all have a safe morning. I'll talk to you guys later. I will be bringing you a double live tomorrow. It will be pertaining to the laundries and Summer Wells. That will be a one live. Then I will bring you another live pertaining to this heinous crime out of Memphis, Tennessee. The video is on my community page. Thank you so much, Udana. Thank you, honey. Love you, baby. This is a message to people dating, singles such as myself. Please be aware of the people out here. Everyone does not mean you well. See, talking on the phone is one thing. Meeting in public is one thing. But who you get behind the closed door may be another. I'll bring you that story tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Good morning. Thank you.